Welcome in today, and so glad you're on board. It's a Monday with just a ton of stuff to get to today. Nothing huge other than maybe the massive disappointment. It is the Milwaukee Bucks. We'll get into that. But it is the path of totality. And today is, we need some stuff. The path of totality takes over today, so be careful wherever you go. Call somebody. Pet your dog. Grab your cat, whatever it happens to be. It is the path of totality today. And it's going to get kind of goofy, crazy, whatever. Anyway, we're going to talk to Drew Bero today. He is he is the CBS 58 meteorologist. And we tried to get him on last week when all this nonsense started, and we will touch base with with Drew coming up here in a little bit. But the path of totality happens today, so be careful. You don't want to go blind from either, what your mom always told you not to do, or from the Eclipse. So be careful today out there. Today we're going to talk some Brewers. Brewers unloaded yesterday. William Contreras, bomb, see ya. He was on fire yesterday. Brewers beat the hell out of the Mariners, take 2 out of 3. Nice job, and they continue on. They start a 4-game series in the Queen City today, which is nice. Be flipping back and forth tonight between the NCAA Championship game and the Crew. Then you got the Bucks, dismal yet again performance, to the point that an official now notices there's problems with the Milwaukee Bucks. Doc Rivers, 2 games under 500 since taking over as the head coach of the Bucks. We'll get into that. Diana Taurasi, one of the all-time greats in women's college basketball, a caddy classless mention yesterday. We'll get into that. What else do we have? We have all kinds of stuff. Like I said, you got the men's championship game coming up tonight. Just a myriad of things, but it is the path of totality all day and every day today. So there you have it. Today you got 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, you can. 877-867-1670. Give us a shout. You can also find Grant at Wisco Grant. Over on X. You can find us on Instagram at The Bill Michaels Show on Instagram. Same thing on TikTok. Find us Facebook.com/The Bill Michaels Show as well. Also, go to YouTube, youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. That's a great way to watch the program, listen to the program, subscribe to the program, and it is all 100% absolutely positively free. It is free. You can do it right there. Also, you can find us on the Twitch app, on the Kick app as well, LinkedIn TV, and you can email the program, thebillmichaels@gmail.com, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. Website, simply thebillmichaels.com, thebillmichaels.com. There's the Zone Madison app. Take us anywhere and everywhere. Put us in your pocket. You're good to go. That is the Zone, Z-O-N-E, the Zone Madison. And then you can find us after the fact on Apple, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you find your favorite podcast. But those 3 mainly: Spotify, Apple, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. That's where we actually emanate from. So there you go. Grant Bills, how you doing today? Yeah. Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. Okay. Okay. Well, there you have it. You know what? Here's the problem. I got into wrestling years and years and years ago. I got into it big time. And when you met the guys behind the scenes and then you realize what Vince McMahon was doing and what was going on, it really kind of turned me off. And it was kind of like, okay, this is nothing more than a choreographed, scripted. This is like going and watching a soap opera where the outcome is predetermined and you know it. And if you've been watching like the dark side of wrestling on Vice, which I watch all the time with all the different caricatures that they had, all those different, wrestlers over the years, the guys that have been there, done that, thrived and survived, the guys that have died, the guys that have, killed themselves or had accidents or whatever. I mean, you watch all of that, and then you realize all the stuff going on behind the scenes. The athleticism is there. I mean, that's the amazing part of it for what it is they do. But it was just kind of like, okay, why am we all know who's going to win, so why am I spending all my time watching this? And then it got into the chatty stuff where they have segments where guys just talk. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. It was just, that was it for me. So they lost me at that point. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? In that I will agree with. When you watch like WrestleMania, I saw a lot of video of it, like, people that were there that were taking video. To me, it's more watching the crowd and the excitement and the enthusiasm and the energy of the crowd than it is the actual match. So that I can give you. Absolutely. So the other piece of news that we did not touch upon is the fact that John Calipari scampered in the middle of the night to Arkansas. And now Kentucky basketball is looking for a head coach. Now, Calipari, make no mistake about it, getting bounced again in the first round, this time by Oakland. He barely escaped getting fired. And I think he wanted to get out before he got fired. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. He can stand on his pedestal and pontificate about how many guys he's put into the association. That is great. That is wonderful. But in Kentucky, nobody gives two damns about that. It's not about putting guys in the association in the Bluegrass State. It is all about championships. That's all they care about. And they were to the point where they were hating this guy. And so because the only reason he stuck around, now this is where guys like Nick Saban and Rick Pitino and these guys that have made a lot of money, and they say, man, I just don't know if I can do this anymore. Oh, this is terrible. These kids are making money. The only reason John Calipari stuck around was because he had a $30 million buyout. He was going to get $30 million. And he complains about kids making money. These coaches complain about kids making money. So what does he do? In the middle of the night, he scampers away down to Arkansas where they're going to pay his buyout and pay him extra money. And then send him down there, private jets, back and forth, the whole deal. And now he's going to go there as a hired gun. And there he's going to try to restart that system that he has and bring the recruits that he has and keep his guys in the SEC and see what he can do down in Arkansas. Does he get the same success? No, it's not the blue chip that is Kentucky. He's now just John Calipari, the roaming nomad, the guy that put Memphis on probation, the guy that went off to the East Coast and did basically the same thing, comes to Kentucky and claims all these different victories, but yet goes to Final Fours or gets bounced in the first round. He's won one championship, and I give him that because he's won more than many other programs. And he's been able to get spectacular players. And hell, half the NBA probably has the word Kentucky when they're announced to wherever it is they are. They get the word Kentucky put in front of their name. And that's great. But down there, they don't care. The Blue Necks don't care. It's all about championships. And if all you're doing is becoming a feeder team for the NBA, they don't care. They want you out. They have nothing to do with the NBA. They could give two damns about it. So sure enough, Calipari scampers away in the middle of the night because he knew he wasn't this collection of guys and the guys he's got coming in. They're going to be good again. There's no guarantee. The times have changed. The NIL money has changed. There's no guarantee these guys are even going to stick around. So he knows he's just staring down the barrel of another one and done. And next year he would be fired. So that was John Calipari, the way he always has been. He's a little coward, scurrying off into the night, going to collect his money because he knows he's about to be fired. So now we'll see who they hire at Kentucky. I mean, there's a lot of names, big names being tossed around. And some of these big names have good jobs, but Kentucky, Kansas, Duke, North Carolina, now UConn, you look at a lot of these programs that UCLA even to a certain extent for the success they had under John Wooden, these premier programs of college basketball, that'll raise a lot of eyebrows and get a lot of resumes during their search. So we didn't talk about Calipari heading out either. So there you go. Are you ready for the Eclipse today? I guess it's actually like starting now and runs all the way through like after 2:30. That's all that's going on today. Good stuff for the Milwaukee Brewers over the weekend. Taking 2 out of 3. That's always good. It's always something reliable. That's nice. And then you've got the downfall of the Milwaukee Bucks. So much so that an official goes to Doc Rivers and talks about how his team seems to be playing with a heavy weight. His team seems to be playing with a heavy weight upon their shoulders. So now you got to wait and see what the hell's going on with the Bucks. Doc Rivers, look, there's not a lot of things in this life that I can say I was right about. Not a lot. I can say I was right about Aaron Rodgers. I was right about the end of Favre. I was right about, a few other calls that I've had throughout my life. But I said, bringing in Doc Rivers, not good. Bringing in Griffin, not good. And I said last year, and I'll say it again this year, this team looks slow and dysfunctional, and nobody wants to listen. And Bucs fans want to argue. That's fine. But this is what you're getting. They're not flipping a switch. They're not going to turn it on. Will they play harder? Yes. And 2 people today, I was watching Jay Wright, and actually 3, Tim Legler, and I was watching over on the NBA channel last night, said all the same things. Doc Rivers hasn't changed anything. It's not like schematically they're doing a lot of stuff differently. They did work Bobby Portis open a little bit more and involve him in the offense a little bit more once Doc Rivers took over, and they started shuffling Bobby in and out because he wanted to be more a part of the offense, and he was getting his opportunities. But there's not much different. The only thing that this team did in that winning stretch coming out of the All-Star break was play harder. That's it. If you watch that sloppy-ass, candy-ass, lazy-ass game they played yesterday, you can go highlight by highlight by highlight and watch guys stand flat-footed and watch guys go past them. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear these fans. You don't know what you're talking about. Oh, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, I watched yesterday intently, and it was garbage basketball. They get a double-digit lead, and it's the same thing under Budenholzer. It's the same thing under this team. It is a lazy, flat-footed, look at everybody else to do their own job team, and they don't do their job. Even Giannis, now walking down the court, still dribbling high, turning it over, getting it tipped away. Done. This team, put a fork in them. They're done. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, feel free to go ahead and do so. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Cousin Subs, where they believe in better. And they've got great subs, and they're a huge supporter of the Big Unit Poker Run coming up on Sunday, September 1st, and the post-ride party, which we're so excited to bring you all the details to. We're going to be announcing it soon. I know I keep saying it, but it's true. About another week or two. Signing all the contracts, dotting all the I's, crossing all the T's. We're good to go, but it's going to be great. And when we announce it, I would almost assume tickets are going to sell out. Cousin Subs, since 1972, Cousin Subs, they believe in better. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show next. Ready?
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Beautify your entertainment space with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Hi, this is Gina Della from Pella. Turn your ordinary space into something extraordinary with brand new Pella windows. The luxurious look, sleek design, and custom colors available is guaranteed to give your home the extra pop to entertain and keep you comfortable. At Pella, we see windows differently. We have the highest rated energy efficient products and a complete range of durable, functional, and high quality products that bring out the best of your home. Plus, getting the perfect windows and doors for your home has never been easier. Right now, get 0% interest for up to 36 months. Or no down payment, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months if you book before April 30th. That's right, get 0% interest for up to 36 months, or no down payment, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months. If you book before April 30th, take ownership of your living space and make it a place worth living with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Suit up for the $800,000 Sports Car Series at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. April through May, score free play, cash, one of 4 new Toyota GR86s or a new Toyota Supra. Play with your club card to earn entries, 5 times the entries on drawing days, and when the Milwaukee Brewers play at home. Got what it takes, Slugger? Only at Potawatomi. For more details, visit paysbig.com/sportscar. Must be 21 and a club member to play.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program. Good to have you. Today is the day that you need glasses, you need pinholes and cardboard. It's the path of totality. And we talked about on Friday, and a lot of the rules are not rules, but warnings going on in many different states. It's nuts. It's crazy. It's the Eclipse Day today. And we got to talk a little bit more about this thing, because I got to ask why it's just bananas. And we bring in our guy, Drew Bero, for the meteorologist. And I say that correctly, of CBS 58 in Milwaukee, also a workoutaholic and a guy that has whipped Kevin Holden's ass into shape, and biggest Packers fan I know. Drew's joining us now on the hotline. Drew, how you been, pal?
Doing real good, Bill. You know, you woke up today, and at least for southeastern Wisconsin, into central Wisconsin, a lot of sunshine. been a different story throughout the northwest part of the state. So not everyone in great conditions, but just to get some warmth and sun, and well, then of course, crazy eclipse time today, right?
Right. So can you tell me this? Why is this such? Why are we seeing states? I mean, they're talking about state of emergencies and talking about bringing gallons of water. And I mean, I know there's some people that are flocking to see this, but look, we didn't do this for
Sure.
Y2K, much less an eclipse, for God's sakes.
You know, the last one we had was back in August of 2017, and I'm wondering, after the popularity of that one, and that, you know, that wasn't that long ago, so it's not like it's been 50 years or 60 years since we've had, you know, one of these eclipses. But I have a feeling that there were probably a lot of lessons learned by the states that were impacted by that particular eclipse back in 2017, where, you know, roads get jammed up and people do stupid things. You know, it's interesting, and they're two different events, but if you get a big outbreak of severe weather, especially throughout the Central Plains, you'll have all these chasers that will block roads and park under, you know, overpasses and all this kind of stuff, and then it becomes a bottleneck. So my guess is they're trying to be proactive for people that are just, you know, saying, hey, I'm just going to hop in the car, and, you know, well, you and thousands of other people are, you know, are set to do it. And if you're wondering, I mean, the next time we see this, it's not like it's 100 years from now, but, you know, it looks like 2045. So August 12th of 2045, it's going to be cutting across kind of the Four Corners region, back through Oklahoma into Arkansas and the Southeast. If you have really good genes or cryogenics, then if you want to see totality around here, well, we've got one scheduled for September 14th, 2099. So when they freeze your body for science, Bill, then they can bring you back for that.
Me and Walt Disney, we'll wake up, I guess. Hey,
Right.
so let me ask you this. So what, I mean, for people that want, when are we going to be impacted by this thing today?
Yeah, so for us today, we're not that far away. It's going to be starting and just kind of generally around the Milwaukee area, Madison, just short of 1 o'clock. So right around 12:50 or so, it's going to start. Now, I mean, we don't have to be in the path of totality where it completely gets, you know, dark. I mean, we're going to see about 90% coverage, and that's going to occur right around 2 o'clock or so. So in Milwaukee at 2:08. And then it's going to be wrapping up by about 3:30. So basically 1 o'clock until 3:30 is going to be, you know, the time. So what is it going to be around here, especially if we get, you know, more sun than clouds? It's going to kind of seem like almost an overcast sky, you know, where it kind of gets dark. The bottom line is, if you don't have proper, you know, glasses for this, we're not talking sunglasses, but, you know, proper glasses, or you're doing the, you know, the pinhole deal or this and that, don't risk looking up and ruining your eyes. You get a pair of them and that's it. And it's just not worth it. But you know, for a lot of folks, they travel to, you know, Southern Illinois or even Indiana. You know, Indianapolis is in the path. So there's been a lot of people from our area that have traveled south. So you can imagine all those people in the cars and all that, you know, all that good stuff.
Yeah, they opened up the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for 400,000 viewers. You know, which is like, wow, okay. I mean, I could sit outside a Skyline parking lot, eat a few conies, watch the sun go away, and I'm done for the day. I'm heading back to Milwaukee, you know, so I get it.
Right.
So, any other? Go ahead.
That's it. No, I was going to say, and then you wrap up and say how you're looking, you know, and that's it.
You're the man. Great. That's the reason I come to you. So stay safe. Don't look in the sky, all that kind of good stuff. And then between, say, 12:50 and then 3:30, you're going to notice things. And then it'll almost be like when we get off the air at 2 o'clock, it'll be like the curtains coming down on the program. That'll be fantastic. It'll be apropos for this show. It'll be awesome. I can't wait.
Oh, it timed it out perfectly. Excellent.
So, real quick, what kind of weather you got for Cincinnati tonight? Because I know you are the official weather forecaster for the Milwaukee Brewers. So, they got a game down at Great American Ballpark this evening. How they doing? What's the weather look like?
Well, I mean, all in all, thankfully it doesn't look like any wet weather, which has been, kind of the case. But tonight, they've got a high today in Cincy at 75. So, temps throughout the game will most likely be in the 60s. I think their low heading into Tuesday is 55, and then it looks rainy on Tuesday, about 70 there.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Drew, good as always, buddy. I appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us at a moment's notice, and we'll talk again soon, okay? There you go. That's our buddy, Drew Bero, meteorologist, CBS 58. That's the reason we get him on. So he basically laughs at the same thing that we laugh at, which is great. Says, hey, don't look directly in the sky. Wear the proper glasses. I don't know why people are getting bananas. It wasn't that long ago that we had one of these. Maybe some people got stupid during the last one. How are we looking? So, do you feel better, Grant? Do you feel better now that he's kind of stated, it's bananas?
It's good to talk to a professional, get a professional opinion. Yeah, it feels like that was needed. I won't stare right at the sun. Maybe I'll just quick glance up. I mean, it's cool because you go outside in the middle of the day and it's going to be like dark and eerie and weird. Yeah. Like that's kind of what I'm most excited about because it never happens. Happens every couple of decades, or it's going to be. What did he say? Another couple hundred years before this happens again?
It'll be 2099 when it directly comes over Wisconsin, over Milwaukee, Wisconsin. When there's an eclipse, 2099 is what we've got it penciled in, and that's the end of I think November 14th, or I think he said, or December 14th.
It would be 101 at that point in time. I don't think I'm going to make it. I want to be optimistic, of course, but I don't know that I'm going to make it.
I will be anal droppings from a worm at that point. I will be nothing but food. So, yeah, okay. As Jim says, it's the eclipse, not the apocalypse. Which, Jim, I completely agree with you. I don't understand it. I was watching over the weekend, as we were talking about on Friday, and for people that thought I was making it up, then I started getting emails and tweets and stuff of people going, holy, you weren't kidding. I said, no, these people are nuts. New York is like halfway shutting down, and down in Texas, they're getting crazy. Indianapolis, in that area, they're talking about bringing in the National Guard. It's like, what the hell? So, be careful. Be careful. There you have it. There you go. Oh, Nick's all mad because I said shut up about Diana Taurasi. Oh, no, Nick, you're an idiot. And we'll talk about that when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Nick's all upset because I said Diana Taurasi is a disgrace. And she is. And I'll tell you why when we come back. You don't even know why, Nick. Nick, just stop. Just stop. More of the Bill Michaels Show is coming up this portion of the program. Brought to you by our friends over there at Dream Vacations. Dream Vacations, give them a buzz, 414-208-4221. They work really, really well with veterans and military members as well, and they waive a lot of fees for them. For all your resort, your cruise, your sport travel vacation needs, let Melissa and Michael give you a hand and let them help you book your next amazing getaway, whether it's local, international, you just want to go sit on the beach somewhere and enjoy yourself. Absolutely. Check them out. That's, again, Dream Vacations, 414-208-4221, 414-208-4221. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Good to have you back. Bill Michaels Show. We continue on this Monday, beautiful Monday. Sun is shining. Going to get up to mid to upper 60s today. Love it. Love it. Good stuff. This portion of the program, if you're going to bring the fire, you go to where the fire keeper is, and that's Potawatomi Hotel Casino. Potawatomi, right there in Milwaukee. And I'm telling you this, whether it's the Rockin' Brews or going over to the upstairs lounge where they have right there in the bar, they've got gaming, but they've got a thumping DJ. You can go downstairs and grab yourself some American Asian cuisine. You can go to Dream Dance Steakhouse and get the steaks, the street eats, table games, slots, bingo. Don't forget about the sports book, and that big new one's about to open up. Can't wait. I'm going to go get a glimpse of it this coming Friday. I'm so looking forward to that. Plus, you can stay right there on site in the hotel. That is Potawatomi Hotel Casino, Milwaukee. Go to paysbig.com. That is paysbig.com. All right, here we go. Let me stretch out for this thing. I love it when haters come on. So, okay, here we go. So, we're getting ready. I'm going to put that comment up there. There we go. For those that are watching over on the live stream. Okay. This is from Nick. Nick, by the way, wakes up this morning and either hit the 5-mass skull bong or just came out of a cave, but regardless. So Nick, and one of the titles that I had today was Diana Taurasi is a disgrace, and she's classless. So Nick says, and I read, STFU. Shut the F up. Diana is so much better, but had no social. You're a disgrace. First of all, I never ever compared their abilities. Never said anything about that. So, Nick, first of all, when your name's Nick and you have that kind of a take, you should never, ever hit enter. You shouldn't be allowed around a computer or a phone at that point because your mental acuity for what it is you assumed was completely wrong. And I guess cranius rectus invertus is something that you need to go to the doctor and really be seen for. So that's first and foremost. The quote coming from Diana Taurasi on Caitlin Clark, right there yesterday. Okay, she's being celebrated. Dawn Staley is just saying, hey, thank you, Caitlin Clark, it doesn't matter what you do. Even when you go to the WNBA, you're going to bring eyes. What she did for women's college basketball this year, and specifically the rivalry that she had with LSU, 12 million viewers, the largest amount of eyes ever on a women's college sport. Diana Taurasi then has to go to, well, reality's coming. You look superhuman playing against some 18-year-olds, but you're going to come down and play with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time. Completely classless. First of all, it sounds like complete jealousy. Complete jealousy. Secondly, you just have celebrated the ability for more eyes than in the history of ever to come upon women's college sports. And you got to be a catty ass. Why? What reason is there for that comment other than to be catty? Other than you've always been looked at as one of the GOATs, and now people are calling her the GOAT. There's no reason to say that. You could have said, look, I don't know how she's going to do in the WNBA, but man, what she's done for women's sports, for college athletics, taking it to another level. Look, Diana Taurasi, I don't know how old she is. I think she's like in her late 30s or something like that. She was great. She was great, but she never brought this level of eyes to the women's sports. Never. Okay, so I thought it was completely classless. I thought it was completely catty. So then I got to call Nick out because Nick, again, you should never be anywhere near a computer. He says, that's the reason you're not on the radio. So I don't even really have to defend that, only for the fact that everybody listening in every audience throughout the state of Wisconsin and well beyond the borders between the radio and the social media and the YouTubes and the downloads we get, Nick. I'm sorry, whatever happened to you a little while ago where you've been hit in the head and you're cruising around life through a helmet. Maybe your visor's all clogged up, or maybe you got an early glimpse of the path of totality. But please do us all a favor. Don't ever hit enter again. You're between you, me, and 100% of the other people that are out there listening and or watching at this point, you're a moron. Okay. So stack back in the hole that you crawled out of and enjoy your day. Haters are going to hate. You make me famous, and you're nothing more than that. So, if I really was not like on the radio right now, was just on YouTube, I might bare my backside and say, kiss it. But beyond that, you've done yourself in. Enjoy your day. There you go. How are we doing, Grant? Anything else should I add to that?
No, look, Diana Taurasi, I guess she might not be 100% wrong. Like, Caitlin Clark's going to now play against adult women who play professional basketball. Yeah. But why do you have to say that? Right. It just, even if she doesn't mean it in any type of way, it's just, you're kind of raining on the parade a little bit. We don't need to do that. No need for that.
No, and that's my point. It's like, why? Look, if she gets in the league and she's a dismal failure, you can say, Diana Taurasi, absolutely. Okay, no problem. You're right, or whatever, by the way, Diana Taurasi is 41 years old. 41 years old. Does she even play basketball anymore? I think so.
I think she just recently retired. Let me look that up.
But here's the bottom. She said, women in the WNBA don't like Caitlin Clark. Now, I know Jameel Hill said that the coverage of Caitlin Clark was racist. Here we go. Whenever something like that comes up, all my respect's out the window. All of it. We covered Michael Jordan to the nth degree because he was just seemingly the greatest. We cover LeBron James. My God, LeBron James and Dak Prescott can't get mentioned enough on ESPN. But they cover Caitlin Clark, and it's racist. It's such a garbage argument. She's just a great player. People have to handle that. Look, I'm not a big, huge Caitlin Clark fan, to be honest with you. I think she's kind of arrogant. I think she got full of herself down the stretch. I saw a little bit, yet she still dropped 30 on an incredible defensive team. But it took her, 28 shots to do it. And I think there was too much one-on-one. I think they turned the ball over too often. She had 4 turnovers yesterday in some key moments. So I think she had mistakes. I think she will find it rough in the WNBA. She's not huge. She's not overly muscular, but she's one hell of a shooter. And you give her even 2 feet of space, and she's going to put it up and over you. And she's going to score a lot of points. Will she be the greatest ever in the WNBA? Maybe not. But that's not the place for that kind. Men's sports, a little bit different. And I hate to segregate those two, but men's sports, a little bit different. A little bit different. You can talk about guys that will and will not transfer to the NBA because their game just doesn't. Okay? Zach Edey, perfect example. He, at best, may be an inside rebounder and or bench player, but I don't think he's going to be able to compete with the athleticism that you see on a day in and day out basis in the NBA. But you don't see anybody saying, guys in the NBA hate him. They don't care. But Diana Taurasi cares because she was considered one of the greatest of all time. And now suddenly somebody else is labeled a GOAT and she's bad-mouthing her. That's why it's classless. Not because of the ability between the two, but because at that point in time, when you are trying and scraping and clawing and really starting to celebrate the fact that there are more eyes on the women's game than ever before, whether it's basketball, softball, hockey, whatever it happens, volleyball, whatever it happens to be, more people today are paying attention to women's sports. Hell, people are now betting on women's sports, which is putting more eyes upon it. You got more eyes and more praise being heaped on the women's game than ever. And instead of taking advantage of it like everybody else did, you take a shot to tear it down. And that is completely classless. It's jealousy. That's nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. And that's the reason Diana Taurasi today deserves to be roasted. Because of a dumbass comment like that. And that's the reason I said what I said. So, Nick, talk to you later, man. Talk to you later. All right, let's do this. We're going to step away. We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We got a whole lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up. It's coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Beautify your entertainment space with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Hi, this is Gina Della from Pella. Turn your ordinary space into something extraordinary with brand new Pella windows. The luxurious look, sleek design, and custom colors available is guaranteed to give your home the extra pop to entertain and keep you comfortable. At Pella, we see windows differently. We have the highest rated energy efficient products and a complete range of durable, functional, and high quality products that bring out the best of your home. Plus, getting the perfect windows and doors for your home has never been easier. Right now, get 0% interest for up to 36 months. Or no down payment, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months if you book before April 30th. That's right, get 0% interest for up to 36 months, or no down payment, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months. If you book before April 30th, take ownership of your living space and make it a place worth living with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
It's a Monday, and we're glad to have you. The Bill Michaels Show. We continue on. Love it today. Love it. Good stuff. Hey, over the weekend, did you stop down to Calderon Club? Many of you did, and got a nice story. Gino had given me a story from a couple that came down from Green Bay. They were coming down to see the Bucks game over the weekend, and had a few Brewers fans in there from out of the area that stopped down there as well. Just wanted to say thanks. It's always great when people kind of take a listen and they go, well, we'll give it a shot. And then they get there and go, oh my God, this is exactly what it is you were talking about. So thanks for supporting small business. Our small businesses are the ones that support us. So thank you for supporting them. Calderon Club, great Italian food, 838 Old World 3rd Street, downtown Milwaukee. Then there's San Giorgio Pizzeria in the Poliatana, right there across the street from the Hyatt Hotel, right next door to Calderon Club. You can't go wrong with either. If you're a pizza fan, authentic Italian food, that's great. Calderon Club on the other side, you've got spaghetti and meatballs, the marinara, the chicken parmesan. I mean, you can go through chicken marsala, which is fantastic. Just so much good stuff. Both sides, can't go wrong. Say hi to our buddy Gino when you're in there. Calderon Club in San Giorgio, 838 Old World Street, 3rd Street, downtown Milwaukee, and just a few blocks from the Fiserv Forum. So real quick, and then I want to put all of this stuff to bed, unless you got comments about it. But Diana Taurasi actually making the comments about Caitlin Clark and then the reaction to it after the fact when she was on with Scott Van Pelt last night after the women's championship game.
Right? When the college guys come out, they're waiting for them. I mean, Camilla's coming, Caitlin's coming. There's more than just that are coming. What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time. Not saying that it's not going to translate, because when you're great at what you do, you're just going to get better. But there is going to be a transition period where you're going to have to give yourself some grace as a rookie. And, it might take a little bit longer for some people.
Yeah. Why? I mean, you see all the time. You see LeBron came right out of high school. Translated. Wemby has been a star ever since he came into the league. Translated. Will he get bigger and stronger? Yeah, he's even going to get even better. But translated, he's not getting posterized. He's not getting beaten up. Grown-ass men that have been playing this game for a long, long time have been in awe of his ability. Steph Curry came in, started shooting the lights out. He didn't get beat up by the grown-ass men that have been playing that game for a long time. Diana Taurasi, all respect gone. All respect gone. Tremendous player, but all respect gone. What else do we got? This is from CJ13, says, then why is Doc making those comments if these late few games don't matter? Because what else are you going to do at this point? If the late games don't matter, then my question is this when it comes to the Bucs. When do the excuses stop? First it was Adrian Griffin. Then it was, well, the loss of Holiday. Then it was, we need to play harder. Then it was Doc coming in and we need to, wow, now we got a coach that knows what he's doing. And now we're on the same path. We put it all together. Then it was injuries. It's been one big ass excuse after the other. And let's be honest. I mean, the straw that stirs the drink is Giannis. Right? Giannis can do no wrong. A lot of people get mad at me for that. Giannis can do no wrong. But this team doesn't play with the same tenacity they did. And there is a reason people are noticing now. People that played the game, that have forgotten, more about basketball than I would ever know, that are saying there's just something wrong with this team. And we noticed it. I noticed it. I noticed it last year. There was something wrong with this team. They didn't have it. And we knew it. And we want to deny it. Same way this year. They didn't have it. Then they got kind of on the same page. And they went on that little bit of a run, right? And then you kind of went, okay, I'm a believer. And I said to myself, I'm starting to believe. And for those that don't remember, I said, let's see what the West Coast trip brings. If they split, it'll be disappointing. If they go 3-1, I'm all in. If they play less than that, then I'm not. And they took on a bad Golden State team at the time that was coming off of an ugly loss. They finally got healthy at the right time, but they came in, they just whooped up on the Bucs. Bucs lost out in the West Coast, and they were 1-3 on that trip, and they looked bad doing it. And everybody made the excuse, well, it's the West Coast. Okay. Sorry. Forgot the team can't play on the road. Then it's, well, they don't play well on the road. They don't have professionalism on the road. Well, now they're at home. They're at home and they're healthy. What excuse did you make for yesterday's debacle? You had a double-digit lead and you lost it again. It's what this team does. They get off to a big lead. They play fast. They play energized basketball. Mean mug. Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, coming about another quarter and a half, I'm going to take an ass beating. Mean mug all you want. It doesn't go far. So now what? There's no way this team can suddenly flip the switch. No way. Make me a liar. I would like nothing better, but make me out to be a liar. That's it. I hate to say it, because I really was like the rest of you. When they brought in Damian Lillard, I thought, boy, what an incredible move, and what a great move by John Horst to be able to pull that deal off, to be able to steal him from Miami, because that's where he was headed. To steal him from Miami was huge. It was already a win before there was even a tip-off to start the season. And then after that, got off to a little bit of a fast start, and here we go. But did you know they are bottom 3 since Doc Rivers took over? Bottom 3 in one-score games with 5 minutes left. Bottom 3 team in all the NBA. And that's what you brought Damian Lillard in for, right? That's what you brought him in for. He was supposed to be the guy to get the ball down the stretch, so that way him and Giannis could work. Chris Middleton could dish it around. You've got guys that can move it around, and then it's Dame time. Show me the watch. Dame time. Hasn't done anything. That's it. They're bottom 3 in all of the NBA under Doc Rivers with less than 5 minutes to go in single-score games. bottom three. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. There you have it. 877-867-1670. When we come back after the top of the hour, we're going to hear some of the comments from Doc Rivers from yesterday's ball game, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this. But they're sub 500 under Doc. They're bottom three in one-score games. They are one of the worst defensive teams in transition and beyond the arc in the league. What's changed? What's changed? Maybe Budenholzer's message got stale, but what's changed? And I know people want to look at John Horst and go, oh, God, he ruined the chemistry. No. He did exactly what everybody else wanted him to do. He did exactly what Giannis asked him to do, was get better. I lay all of this at the feet of the players. At the feet of the players. The management, okay. Maybe, not the best to go with Adrian Griffin or Doc. You had other guys out there. We all thought maybe Nick Nurse might not be a bad way to go. He was a guy that specifically game planned against this team in the postseason. They didn't want to go in that direction. But nope. Not working. Prove me wrong. Stay right where you're at. We got an hour down today on the path of totality. Thank God we're not in it. But it will start eclipsing relatively soon. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, that's a series win for the Milwaukee Brewers, as yesterday saw the Crew beat the Mariners 12-4 in the rubber match. William Contreras would finish with 4 hits and 5 RBIs, including 2 home runs. Manager Pat Murphy talks on his catcher.
Today he was special, and you can get that out of William. He's that good. Like I've mentioned, this is a guy that's coming into his own in both sides of the ball. But what he does behind the plate is so underrated, because you can't see it in the box score.
Starting pitcher Colin Ray would go 6 innings, allowing 7 hits. He moved to 2-0 on the year. Up next for the Crew, they're in Cincinnati to take on the Reds today at 5:40. Turning to the Bucks, they're facing their longest losing streak of the season, having lost 4 in a row and dropped 6 of their last 7, as they would fall to the New York Knicks yesterday, 122-109. The Bucks currently have 4 games remaining, 2 at home and 2 on the road. They currently still sit second in the East, but are just a game ahead of the Knicks and the Magic in the race for the Eastern Conference number 2 seed behind the Boston Celtics. Up next for the Deer, they'll take on the Celtics tomorrow at the Pfizer Forum.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin.
That's Wisconsin Strong. Rural Mutual provides all lines of insurance, including commercial, farm, home, and auto. And your premiums stay right here to keep Wisconsin strong. Local agents, local underwriters, local claims adjusters.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Over the weekend, so Wisconsin football have their 4th spring ball practice. Their 5th will be tomorrow. They had 15 total leading up till the beginning of May. And the Green Bay Packers are preparing for the NFL's draft. It begins round 1 Thursday, April 25th. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
Welcome back. Good to have you. The Bill Michaels Show. We continue on. And today, on this day of Path of Totality, hopefully you're enjoying your day. Maybe you're getting ready to run outside and start looking skyward at some point today. Welcome in. We'd love to have you as always, and stick around for the entire day if you possibly can. If not, thanks for being a part of the program for even a portion of it. If you want to get a hold of us, 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You can find us over on Twitter at Bill_Michaels, X at Bill_Michaels. Find Grant at Wisco Grant. You can find him there. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever.com/ The Bill Michaels Show. The Bill Michaels Show. Find us on YouTube and subscribe, watch, and all that kind of good stuff. Absolutely, positively free, but it'll pop up and let you know we're on. Go to youtube.com/ Bill Michaels Show. Same thing on the Twitch app and on the Kick app. You can find us on LinkedIn. Email the program, thebillmichaels@gmail.com, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. The website, simply thebillmichaels.com. There's the Zone, WOZN, the Zone Madison. The Zone Madison. You can listen after the fact on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google Podcasts as well. So there you go. So we'll get into the Brewers. Brewers get a nice win over the weekend. They get two of them, as a matter of fact. Big win yesterday. They just blew them out. That was one of those games, the good old-fashioned barn burner where you weren't going to shut them down. Yesterday, everything was just flowing for the Brewers, offensively speaking. Contreras with not one but two dingers in that contest. Pretty good outing over the weekend, pitching staff-wise. They're just kind of piecemealing stuff together as best they possibly can. So there you go. That was positive. On the negative side, you had the Milwaukee Bucks. And the Bucks, after the game yesterday, they ended up losing to the Knicks. They had a double-digit lead. Watched it get frittered away with a lot of just bad shots, standing around, same old thing, same old, it is what it is. Bucks Damian Lillard, after the ball game, was asked, hey, is a losing streak, in his opinion, is it due to a lack of effort?
I don't think that it's out of us just not trying to or wanting to. I think teams are just going after it a little bit harder than us in certain moments. And in those moments, they see a couple shots go in. We turn the ball over. They get on a little bit of a run. And in this league, if you let teams start to believe and feel good about themselves, runs happen. And, I think that's kind of been the story of these last, 4 or 5, 6 games. Sometimes it gets worse before it gets better.
I appreciate him trying to be as honest as he can be. But no, there's teams that are out hustling you, out efforting you. And you're right. When you give, you get a double digit lead, they get a couple of scores. Suddenly you turn the ball over. Yeah, they get energized. But you, for whatever reason, you don't do that, specifically down the stretch. You don't play defense. You don't get a couple of turnovers. You don't get on a roll. And you don't out hustle the hustlers. Now, I know Damian Lillard's only been a part of this team for this season, but somewhere in there is a commonality that we saw at the end of last season. And when he says it's going to get worse before it gets better, this is the last week of the regular season. When's it going to get better? Because if you're waiting for the postseason, that's the wrong time to wait for the postseason to do it. That's just me. Doc Rivers, how in the world, again, do you blow a double-digit lead?
Yeah, I just thought we came out flat. I used 2 timeouts within 5 minutes or 6 minutes. I wish I knew why, but we did.
You've lost 4 in a row at the Fiserv Forum. Now, remember, this is a team that wasn't energized and didn't have professionalism on the road. Now at home, they're 0 for their last 4. 6 of their last 7 they've lost. So has this team just completely lost their confidence?
I don't think so. It's funny. I had a great team talk yesterday and to a man, and they meant it. This team hasn't lost any belief. We're struggling right now. I think this team really believes once we get into the playoffs. But I would love us to run into the playoffs, and we're not doing that right now. We have 4 games left, and all playoff teams. Maybe that's a blessing for us. I don't know, but we'll figure it out.
I don't know when. I don't know when you're going to figure it out. I just don't. There was an official that said to Doc Rivers, and I'm putting it in the Cliff Notes version, something to the effect of, man, your team's playing like with a lot of heaviness on their shoulders. They're not playing free. They're not playing fast. They're not playing energized. They're not happy. They're, not that you should be during a losing streak like this, but even like the officials can tell. And I can actually verify that from people that I've talked to. There's just something heavy about it. And this team's got talent. The shame of it is this team has talent. This team has talent. That's why when you get on John Horst about it, it's like, no, I'm not going there. Because he put a really talented team together. It's just not working. And for those that say, wow, it's been Damian Lillard, then why did they lose the way they lost in the very same fashion last year against Miami in the postseason? The prediction for this has been coming. Look, we all know what it is, right? It's an aging roster. They're slower than their opponent. They're not as quick as their opponent. Giannis has hit his ceiling. And we're petrified as fans. Let's you want to call it what it is? Grant, you take a listen and tell me if I'm wrong. Here's what it is. And I'm about to lay 100% on you. Truth. We are petrified of Giannis leaving because then we go back to the dark ages of what was basketball from 2003, 2004, all the way up until the arrival of Giannis. So you are doing anything and everything you possibly can to placate the superstar, to basically kiss his ass. So he said, look, I love Chris Middleton. He's my buddy. So you keep Chris Middleton, you give him a big contract. I want to get better. I want to win championships, which he promised he would, and he did. Okay? So you see what he can do. But in the meantime, you're doing anything and everything you can. You're trading away any assets you possibly can. You're trading away money. You're doing everything. You're keeping his brother on the team, who's maybe a fan favorite, but beyond that, that's it. But you're doing anything and everything you can. You bring in Damian Lillard. You get rid of Drew Holiday. You're doing anything you can to keep it the same because you don't have money. You don't have assets. But you got to placate Giannis because if Giannis leaves, we're back in the dark ages, right? We're afraid. We're petrified as Bucks fans. We're going to go back to being irrelevant. And you don't want that. Management doesn't want that. Ownership doesn't want that. John Horst doesn't want that. Nobody wants that. Because we remember what it was like. This time of year at the old Bradley Center, when they were 24 and whatever, and you get maybe 7,000 fans at the game, and they'd announce 20,000, and you're like, boy, that's a load of crap. Because we all were there. We all knew it, right? We're petrified of losing Giannis. So you're selling your soul to do anything and everything you can to placate the superstar. And that's what it is. And you haven't gotten any better. As a matter of fact, you held on to players past their prime. And now you're paying for it because you look innately slow, lethargic, and lazy. And that's what you've got. That's the team that is. Am I wrong?
No, I think you're right. None of us like the idea of Giannis leaving. I just think I think what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Like Giannis wants to contend and win titles, and the Bucks want to contend and win. So everyone wants the same thing. Keeping Chris Middleton, I think, was the correct decision, and trading for Dame was the correct. I don't think the Bucks have made bad choices with their roster to keep Giannis happy. I think they've made the right choices that haven't worked out so far in 2024. I think that's what's happened.
I think it's a good roster? Yes. Do I think it's a good team? Yes. But I think this is a team that, because it's kind of like I'm talking out of both sides of my face, because if I think it's a good roster, then how can I say that it's an aging team and they're not that good? I'm not saying it's an aging team and they're not that good. I'm saying you sold your soul to the devil to make sure you kept around all the pieces around Giannis to keep them relevant. And in the meantime, you watch the team get a little older, which is the reason one guy beat you last year. And then Damian Lillard was supposed to come in and give you that late game precision, that late game dagger. And they're one of the worst teams in the NBA. They're third worst in the NBA with 5 minutes to go and one score down. Third worst. So that didn't change. So I think, do they have the capability to win? Yeah, but the problem is this team, and Damian Lillard said it, this team, he said it without saying it. They don't have that same level of dig deep when other teams dig deep. When you allow a team that's come in and looks at you as like one of the best, and you are. They look at you as one of the best, and they start to feel it to where maybe they can beat you. They dig deep. You don't dig deep. Not anymore, you don't. Lillard came here to win a championship. Giannis wants to win more. So what are you doing? When I see you standing flat-footed, when I see guys blow past you and all you do is stick an arm out, when I see guys penetrate the lane and take a shot over you and you don't even put a hand in the air, I see a lazy-ass team. I see a team that just feels like they're a better basketball team. The problem is you got to do it, and they're not doing it. And that's my issue with this team. I think they're a good team. I think they're a good roster. I think they've got another hurrah left in them. But if they don't find it within themselves to do it, they're out. They're done. And then they're going to look at each other and go, God, we had all this talent. Why didn't we win? Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. That's what it is.
This roster's gotten old and expensive. And I'm not sure everyone understands this. And I'm not some deep expert of the NBA. And we're going to talk with Kurt Helin in a bit, so maybe he can speak to this. But in the NBA, you can't just get younger. Like in the NFL, in a year or two, you can flip your entire team around and still be good, like the Packers were this year, right? In the NBA, man, you're drafting kids they're children. They're literal children. They're 18 years old. So I know a lot of Bucks fans are like, we got to get younger. Yeah, that would be great. It's really, really difficult to do in the NBA and still connect. The Warriors couldn't do it, Bill. Right. They tried. The Warriors are the smartest team with the most stable superstar and the best coach is Steve Kerr. They tried to do it and it failed with Wiseman and Kuminga, at least, in the way they tried to do it. It's really hard to get younger in the NBA. It's not really an option, a realistic option the Bucks have.
And I agree. I look at a team like the 76ers playing some of the best basketball right now in the NBA. I mean, and that's not, Joel Embiid didn't play the other day and they looked really, really good. They've got some guys on their roster that have started digging deep and you can see it. Tyrese Maxey he threw the team on his shoulder, dug deep. You don't have that here, and Chris Middleton is just quietly nothing. Doesn't add anything. Throws some arms out every now and then and he'll hit a couple of shots. And everybody's like, Chris is back. What's he add? He doesn't add any tenacity. He's a fall to the floor away from going back on the injured list. So when people say, oh, they're going to turn it on, they're going to step up, I hope they do. I hope there's a collective effort inside that locker room where they go, okay, now everybody hustles, everybody tries, everybody throws their body to the floor, caution to the wind, we're going for it. I hope that's one for all and all for one. I hope somebody's able to do that. But what's going to get better? That's where I'm at. That's why when Bucks fans get so pissed at me, it's like, prove me wrong. Who's going to get better? Who's going to throw the team on their back? Giannis? Giannis has tried. They don't respond. Dame doesn't do a night in and night out. Middleton? Are you kidding me? Don't even bring his name up. Brook Lopez? Best year he ever had, I thought as a Buck was last year. He was everything. And he's slowed down a little bit. Or maybe he's just to the point of, why am I in here killing myself defensively when nobody else is doing a damn thing? And that could be. Bobby Portis has offensively gotten better. But beyond that, you don't have anybody. Jay Crowder is not what I thought he would be. Beasley, Beauchamp, all these guys, Pat Connaughton. Nobody's really become that guy. So I don't know why there's this belief out there that they're suddenly going to turn it on. And I hate it. And that's the thing, is people think I take pride in this. I don't. But I look at it as a reality. And when people get mad at me for having the opinion, it's like, no, here you go. Here you go. Here it is, right there in front of you. Here's the platter of all these players. Now tell me who's going to play better. Who's going to play better, not just in one night, but who's going to play better throughout the postseason, throughout 3 or 4 or 5, 7-game series, who's going to play better? Who's going to play better against the 76ers, against the Celtics, against anybody else they face? You know? So I don't know. I don't know. I don't take pride in it. It kills me because I don't want to go back and see this team go back to the dark ages. But I tell you one thing, if Giannis doesn't like what the Bucks have done and the results that they've gotten, and then he wants to bolt after all of that stuff, I get it if you want to go play somewhere else or with somebody else to try to win another championship. But I've said all along, the guys that bolt to go play with other guys to then win championships, you're a coward. Because you couldn't do it by yourself and you couldn't do it with a team that was constructed for you. For you. Go look in the effing mirror. For you. And you still couldn't get it done? And then you want to run? You're a coward. So we'll see. In 3 years, 5 years, whatever. When all that comes, because people are saying it over on the live stream. If you get rid of Middleton, Giannis is gone. Who cares? Who cares? You're not winning now. Who cares? If he runs, so be it. Door, ass, meat. There you go. Going to go ahead and take a quick break. Stay tuned. Got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. It's all coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
to have you back. The Bill Michaels Show. Great to get down to a nice action over the weekend. Really nice time down there. I'll tell you about Saturday. But Saturday night, down there, they really good. I'll tell you what, they had a world-class jazz band down there, and they were fantastic. It was just, I actually posted some video on social media over the weekend. They were fantastic. It was like listening to a local version of Blues Travelers. They were great band over the weekend. And we just enjoyed it Saturday night and had a couple of beverages and had a cigar and ran into my buddy Mike Mack, the tax attorney, and his wife, and just had a lot of fun. And that was where we culminated on Saturday. So Nice Ash Cigar Bar, 323 West Main Street, downtown Waukesha, for bourbons and whiskeys. They have that beautiful large walk-in humidor. Went in there and got a really nice Perdomo over the weekend, which I just relaxed with. And like I said, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, always have entertainment down there. 13 different flavors of hookahs and just a tremendous staff. We just love that place. And Joette and Ricky were both down there. We saw them and Dennis and just a lot of great people. So that's the Nice Ash Cigar Bar, 323 West Main Street, downtown Waukesha. The whole argument regarding the Milwaukee Bucks, I don't know what else to make. And I sit here today, and as God is my witness, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that there's actually people that believe that they're just kind of tanking. So they get lower end seeds and all that kind of stuff, which actually would be the opposite, because you'd rather play the lower end seeds than the higher end seeds. But like, they're just playing possum, I guess. But I don't know how they just all of a sudden get off and running on this. Somebody said, well, they committed too many fouls. If you've ever played the game or listened to coaches, sometimes fouls are fouls, okay? But usually fouls are created by a lack of defense. Usually it's a guy getting past you and you're swatting at the basketball. Sometimes you're taking a chance and you just miss. I get it. Or you're trying to block a shot and you just miss. I get it. But when guys are getting past you and you're fouling them, you're not getting your feet into position because they're quicker than you. You're either unprepared, unwilling, or not capable. And coaches always used to say fouls are a lot of the time a byproduct of being undisciplined or defensively unable. And I believe that. And that goes back to my thought of, why is this team slower than other teams that are out there? And it's an older roster. I agree with you. It's an older roster. So it is what it is. I don't have any other. I don't have any kind of other epiphany. And the other, argument is, well, they've had now 3 coaches in a year. Yeah, but they failed with the first coach. It looked the same. There's nothing different. They failed with the first coach. Budenholzer's word must have gotten stale. They made a change. They bring in the second coach. He has success, but it's almost like the way we were it was put was they were winning in spite of. They bring in the third coach, and they love the structure. They talked about, we've got a coach that kind of, now knows what he's doing, but that coach is 2 games under 500 with the same team and sounds like he has no clue what to do, what button to push. None. And Jim says, do you think that Doc Rivers is going to be back next season? No, I don't. Why? Why? I can't imagine it. If you would have had another coach other than Adrian Griffin and take Doc Rivers out of the mix, because I didn't want Doc Rivers to begin with. The track record over the last couple of teams between the Clippers and the 76ers was a disaster. It was a disaster. So who else did you want? I think a lot of people wanted to see Nick Nurse come here. And I don't know why. I mean, he may have interviewed poorly here, or maybe there might have been something that he did or didn't do, or maybe he just there wasn't a likable, capability. I don't know. Pete says, what? You think they're going to pay 4 coaches? It's the roster. It needed to be overhauled. Okay, Pete, let's go along with your argument. Then why did they play so well and win so many games under Adrian Griffin? Why were they one of the most dominant teams in the league even last year under Budenholzer? Now, 1 year's a big difference. I understand that. But the roster itself supposedly had gotten better. And I agree with you. Pete, the problem is you're up against the salary cap. You don't have a lot of draft prospects. You don't have any draft prospects. So you gotta change coaches. It was a weak schedule. Seriously, you play the same teams. You're not doing anything different. You're playing the same teams. And the last 3 teams that they played were all sub 500 teams. So don't tell me that. They didn't beat any of them, and they look bad doing it. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to change a lot. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to find us, please feel free to do so. Would love to chat with you. 877-867-1670. So we're going to talk with Kurt Helin from NBC, and they're going to talk some Bucks and some NBA. We're going to talk with him coming up here in a minute or so, about 5 minutes, actually. We're going to talk with him and get his perspective on all of this, because that way you don't have to listen to me blather on about it. But that's my opinion, I guess. I want to be wrong, but I'm just trying to look at things through very much a realistic set of glasses. And I think it's as baffling to many as it is to me as to how this thing has just gone so wrong so fast. Kurt Helin's going to join us. That is coming up next on the Bill Michaels Show. Don't go anywhere. We'll touch base, and then we got some Brewers chatter, because the Brewers are playing some good baseball right now too. We'll talk some Brewers baseball a little bit later. Stay right where you're at. More of the Bill Michaels Show is next.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Beautify your entertainment space with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Hi, this is Gina Della from Pella. Turn your ordinary space into something extraordinary with brand new Pella windows. The luxurious look, sleek design, and custom colors available is guaranteed to give your home the extra pop to entertain and keep you comfortable. At Pella, we see windows differently. We have the highest rated energy efficient products and a complete range of durable, functional, and high quality products that bring out the best of your home. Plus, getting the perfect windows and doors for your home has never been easier. Right now, get 0% interest for up to 36 months. Or no down payment, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months if you book before April 30th. That's right, get 0% interest for up to 36 months, or no down payment, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months. If you book before April 30th, take ownership of your living space and make it a place worth living with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Phil Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Good to have you. The Bill Michaels Show. Trying to figure out what is wrong with this Milwaukee Bucks team, like a lot of the NBA world is. A team that seemingly has talent, albeit aging talent. They have tried different coaches. They have tried motivation. They're back. They're healthy. They're playing at home. I mean, whatever it happens to be, it's just whatever. It's just simply not working. So joining us on the hotline, Kurt Helin, NBC And out of the NBA writers and coverage, we can just go on and on with the resume. But I'll ask you the same thing, Kurt, that we're asking everybody else. What the hell is going on with the Milwaukee Bucks?
Yeah, I wish I had a good answer for you. I mean, there's a continuity issue. Obviously, they just have not. They've looked. The numbers look great when Middleton and Lillard and Giannis are all on the floor together. But and there hasn't been as much of that of late. But what I think is frustrating, especially in the handful of losses recently to teams that they absolutely should not be losing to at this point in the season in games that matter, is just the lack of execution. It's not just the continuity. It's stuff they seem to be doing before. The two-man game with Giannis and Lillard. There was a stretch where I saw them out last time I saw them. I'm like, oh, this is coming together. They're really starting to look good. This is flowing. And that execution has just kind of gone away. And Doc can have a film session with his veterans. That's swell. But I don't know how you get them to start executing that. You would think with veterans they'd be doing this better, but they're just not executing it in game.
What I see, and you tell me if you see the same thing, I see a team that at times, Damian Lillard talked about it yesterday. He said when you allow good teams to suddenly get a wind, we'll say, in a Cliff Notes version, they start to play hard. And to me, they don't match the energy. The Bucks don't match the energy. We saw it last year when Jimmy Butler went off. We've seen it numerous times this year. They're one of the worst teams in the NBA, bottom three when it comes to the last 5 minutes of a ball game, and only being down one score. That's what they brought Damian Lillard in for, and they haven't been able to overcome that. I see just a lot of things that to me are just excuses as to why this team isn't performing, and sometimes they just got to look in the mirror.
And I think they're not the only team doing that right now. Doc's former team in Los Angeles, the Clippers, have the same vibe around them that Milwaukee seems to, where they doesn't feel like they think they can flip the switch, or they feel like they should be able to flip the switch and like, all right, we're going to get serious again. We're just going to start doing these. We're going to start executing these and building these good habits, showing off these good habits that we built over the course of the year, where that's not how it works. It's doing it every day. It's the reason Boston and Denver execute these things is because they've brought it every day. They know what they're going to do. They also have a little more continuity, but look, that's the bar. This is a championship level team. You don't bring in Damian Lillard to do anything else but make the NBA finals and push for a ring. Boston's the bar. And right now, they know who they are. You can see a clear identity, and I just don't see that night in and night out with Milwaukee. Like I don't know who they're trying to be.
I look at this Bucks team, and then they're 47-31, and I understand all of that. They're second best in the Eastern Conference. They're 2 games under 500 with Doc Rivers. I was not a Doc Rivers fan when they made the announcement that they were hiring him. I didn't want him to be a part of this. I saw what happened in LA. I saw what happened in Philadelphia. It seems to be a drama wherever it goes. And to have an official say, this team looks like they're playing with a heavy burden. Is that part coaching?
It's Doc's job to help relieve that burden, isn't it? It almost, are they overthinking things too? I mean, is it just because Doc's come in and said, and look, he's got some Budenholzer in him in the sense that he likes things done a certain way. He wants defense, and some of that needed to be cleaned up. The transition defense. There are certain things that low-hanging fruit that Doc seemed to pick off really early, and there were moments where were stretches where you're like, hey, this is coming together. But the continuity and consistency hasn't been there. They shouldn't be playing with, I don't know, they need to be playing free and without that burden, because you see the teams that are playing, down, even, I don't know, Orlando is just playing with a certain, like, hey, this is house money, man. We're good. We're having fun out here. Those are the teams that are dangerous, even the ones like the Lakers that, frankly, should be more stressed about where they are in the standings. You watch them, and they're kind of having fun, and they're playing free. And you just, I know Giannis talked about this after the last game, but like the body language, there's just no joy in their game right now. They don't seem to be enjoying themselves.
First of all, I completely agree with you. And everybody says, well, when you're not winning, you don't enjoy it. No, there's a certain level of hard play that goes along with that. And we're not even seeing that. It's almost like they're waiting for somebody else to take over rather than themselves. So I want to ask you, because I've got bets upon this. And I said, look, if this team continues to play this way, they could be a one and done or two and done. You cannot consistently get leads, fritter them away in the third quarter, and then battle back and beat bad teams, because the good teams are not going to allow that to happen. So right now, you've got Philadelphia playing really good basketball heading into the postseason. You've got other teams that are starting to pick it up. They're not far behind Cleveland, to be perfectly honest with you. So you tell me, where is this Bucks team in the echelon? Because it's Boston's world and everybody else is just kind of playing in it. But if you had to say a team that's on the rise that really could rival Boston right now, I don't think it would be the Bucks. Who would it be?
No, it wouldn't be the Bucks, even though on paper they should be the one team to do that. Right now, with the caveat that just always fear Miami, because Miami. Honestly, I think it's Philadelphia. With Embiid back, they just this was a really good team until he got hurt. If he's looked, winded and then rusty, but still really good. And if he gets that shaken off and gets to be himself again by the playoffs, hey man, I love Brook Lopez as a defensive player, the defense on this team, but nobody matches up well with it. Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey has stepped into his own, and they look like the team kind of flowing right now and starting to find their groove. And the team, like I said, that most likely, if they look like the team that could threaten Boston far more than Orlando's just not there yet. The Knicks are not without Randall. Like Cleveland lost to Kawhi-less Clippers yesterday. They're falling apart. The Bucks, there's a window here is the frustrating part, isn't it? But there is a real window here if you can just get it together, get yourself to the conference finals as a get the 2 or 3 seed, get to the conference finals against Boston, and you've got a chance, but you got to get there. And right now, if you get Philly in the first round, that's a scary matchup.
Talking with Kurt Helin, lead NBA writer and the editor at NBCSports.com. So go to the West. How much belief should we have in Minnesota, in the Timberwolves? Because I still think it's Denver's world. But the Timberwolves aren't going away. They're not getting much coverage at all, to be honest with you.
No, they've stuck together, but just because we keep waiting for them, I think that there's a certain level of, okay, they're doing this in the regular season. Are they going to be this year's Sacramento, right? Like they get to the playoffs and just fall apart, which I don't think they're going to. I think Oklahoma City is another young team that's got a learning curve. But what Minnesota brings is, the reason I think that they can make a run, well, a couple things. They've got defense. It travels. They are an elite defensive team, and defense, with Rudy Gobert back there, that always travels. And yes, Anthony Edwards is on the cusp of making the leap to, superstardom in the NBA. The other thing they've got is Mike Conley at the point. Just, hey, we're going to settle this thing down when things get crazy. We're going to run offense. I'm not going to get rushed. I'm going to keep this team. You need that kind of veteran point guard with a young team to keep them kind of in their lane and be able to get a bucket, hey, we're just going to run a Mike Conley, Rudy Gobert pick and roll, and that's going to get us a bucket. Well, you're trying to deal with Anthony Davis. I just think that they've got the pieces, again, to really be dangerous in a West where I think you're spot on. And I feared it's Denver's world. Dallas is playing really well right now, and that Luka guy's pretty good. Right. They're a threat, but they're playing the way you want to see Milwaukee play right now, which is this is fun. We're having free. Luka and Kyrie are hugging each other at center court, right? It's awesome, and that's what's lacking.
What about Phoenix? Because Phoenix, when they made the move for Kevin Durant, we were out in Arizona last year when the trade went down. We were out there for Super Bowl, and it was like the golden calf is coming home, and they are going to win multiple championships. And they just haven't been able to put it all together. Where does Phoenix fall into all of this?
They've been playing their best basketball of late, partially just for the same. They got everybody healthy. They're a threat to win any one game and be a threat in any series. Just because Devin Booker can win you a game, Kevin Durant can win you a game or two, and suddenly, you're deep into a series. That said, they're not deep, and there's times their defense resembles like 5 traffic cones. You just have to dribble around on your way to the basket. Durant is sometimes their best defender out there. So I just don't think they can hold up against the best of the West. I'm not sure they could beat a Minnesota. I'm not sure that they can beat Dallas, or certainly not Denver. But the West, even more than the East, is really just about matchups. Certain teams, Oklahoma City doesn't match up with anybody who can be physical. Like if they get the Lakers in the first round, that's bad for them. It's really going to be interesting to see how that shakes out.
Yeah, and the Lakers are playing good basketball. They just won 4 straight, and they're playing good basketball, as they seemingly always do at the end of the season when they know they need to turn it on. Hey, before I let you go, and I will touch base with you once the postseason gets underway, but one of the questions that was posed to me, and I'll pose it to you, if this team finishes, they go one and done, they're 2 games under 500 right now with Doc Rivers. I can only assume that Doc Rivers is not back next year. I mean, I don't know how you run it back again and say we're going to hope for a different outcome. Do you run it back with Doc and give him a full season, or do you cut bait and start to search for the next head coach?
I'd probably run it back. And part of that's just going to be the boring business financials part of you're paying coaches, multiple coaches now. That said, I think they probably run it back. They probably run it back with him. But that's a conversation that also has to happen with Giannis. Ultimately, it's about keeping Giannis happy. That's why some of these moves were made. If he comes in steaming, then you can go another direction. I'm just not sure what that direction is right now. I'm not sure who's out there that suddenly like, hey man, we tried the young up and coming coach. That didn't mesh well. Now we've got the veteran. Like, where are you going with this? Who do you have in hand that's suddenly better than Doc? Because for all of Doc's flaws, he's a competent NBA coach.
Great stuff. I appreciate it, Kurt, as always. And once the postseason hits and it's upon us, we will definitely talk about all the matchups then as well, okay?
I look forward to it, man. Take care.
Appreciate it, pal. Talk to you soon. There you go, Kurt Helin, NBA on NBC. He is the lead NBA writer at NBCSports.com. And he differs, but he looks at the business side saying, hey, you're not going to pay 3-4 coaches to coach this team. And at some point, something has to stick, and the players, I guess, have to take it upon themselves. But, man, being 2 games under 500 at this point, unless this team makes one hell of a run, I just don't see it. Man, it would be a tough pill, I think, for myself and a lot of Bucks fans to swallow at that point, to say, hey, by the way, all of a sudden they're going to take off. So something pleasurable that you can take off in, and that would be a new boat, a used boat, whatever it happens to be. Our friends at Skipper Buds in Pewaukee. Now, there's Skipper Buds all over the place, but get a hold of Todd. He's the GM at the Pewaukee location, and they've got my boat there now. That's how much I trust them. So I bought my boat there. I love it. They've taken care of it. I did a few things to it, refurbishing things out of a used boat, and I have loved it. Just love the experience and love what they have there. Whether you're looking for new ski boats, Taigas, Mastercrafts, maybe they're showing pontoons over on Facebook and Instagram right now because they have a plethora of those, brand new and used yachts. They have them in the harbors. Check out everything that Skipper Buds has to offer. Boat sales, service, and storage, 262-544-1200. Ask for Todd, 262-544-1200. He's the guy that can get the job done and find you what you need. Again, 262-544-1200. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show is next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes.
What can I get for you today?
Oh, that cheesesteak looks fantastic.
Go with the bacon cheddar. Trust me.
Go with the cheesesteak. It melts in your mouth.
I'm telling you, bacon cheddar.
Cheesesteak and add mayo.
Oh, and don't forget the fries.
Go with the cheese curds.
Go with the fries.
Go with the curds.
Fries.
Curds.
Fries.
Curds.
Well, you could get it all.
Ooh. You can't go wrong with our delicious cheesesteaks and sides. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Good to have you on board. Hey, if you are looking for a good attorney, I'm talking personal injury, estate planning, civil litigation, that kind of thing. Levine Iceburner, and Brent Iceburner is the guy that I work with on the Fisher House board. He's a veteran, great guy, very honest guy too. So if you really want an honest opinion and such, and you want a consultation for if you've got, say, a car accident, a dog bite, if you take a slip and a fall, maybe you have a will or a trust or a living will or something like that, whatever it happens to be. Give them a call, 608-621-2888. 608-621-2888. Now, if you walk outside today and you look into the sky and for whatever reason you blow out your sight because you're trying to visibly see without wearing glasses or anything protective the eclipse, don't call them, because then it just goes under the under the category of stupidity. But if, say, you get somebody that gives you a pair of glasses and says these work, and the next thing you know, you're walking around and can't really tell what's what, then maybe give them a call. You see what I'm saying? So hopefully that doesn't happen. But Levine Iceburner, they are, again, 608-621-2888, 608-621-2888. And everybody stay safe. Come on. Don't go outside and start looking into the sky and looking to see the eclipse bare naked eyes, so to speak. Just be smart about it. So there you have it. So this weekend, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, and somebody had hit me up and said, what happened this weekend? Nothing happened this weekend, nothing bad. It was Friday night it's the first weekend in a long time. And I think I mentioned this, kind of like this month, we don't have really much going on. And it's really nice. It's downtime, because once you get into the end of April, beginning of May and June, the schedule just goes crazy. It books right back up. So this weekend was really nice. Kristen has never done, she's been here now, because she's not originally from here. She's from the East Coast. She hasn't been here that long. She's never done the tourist stuff. She's never done that. So she said, you know what, Saturday, can we just start out like midday and go do touristy stuff? And I'm like, yeah, no problem. So we ended up going to the Bronze Fonds, and we went to the public market. We walked the 3rd Ward down in Milwaukee, over by the lakefront. We ended up, we saw our friends over at the Twisted Fisherman. God, I love that place. I can't wait for summer to get here so I can bring the boat up the river and dock it at the Twisted Fisherman and just hang out outside. God, I love that place. By the way, they have lobster tails, 2 of them, Not one of them, 2 of them for $30. And they're not cold water lobster, but they were fantastic. They were fantastic. So, and they're not even a sponsor. So shout out to them because they were that good. But we did all the touristy stuff, all the stuff that you would do, took pictures down on the river walk, up the river, down the river, got Usinger in the background. We got the Fiserv Forum in the background. You drive past we didn't really go to American Family Field because they had a game, but just all the touristy stuff that all her family always asks her, hey, what about this? What about that? In front of the theater, in front of the Pabst, in front of the Riverside. So did all the touristy stuff. And I gotta admit, I had a lot of fun doing it. I haven't done all that stuff in a long time. I get friends that come to town and, that we'll do that. Leon's Custard, you got to do that, right? You got to go to Leon's. There's a couple other places you would go, but did all that. And then we sat back and relaxed and we went and had a cigar and listened to some great blues music and jazz music down at the Nice Ash in Waukesha on our way home and came home. She bought the 414 shirts and the Milwaukee, put the cats on them, and bought all the stuff from Drink Wisconsin, I believe. Bought shirts and stuff. It was just a fun weekend. Still need to do Door County. You're right, Rick. But it was a fun weekend. It really was. It was just a nice, relaxing day. And then I did something yesterday that I never, ever, ever thought I would do. And I did it anyway. Tell you what that is. Stay right where you're at. More of the Bill Michael Show is coming up right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, Milwaukee's late season slide continued last night against the Knicks as they lost for a 4th straight time and 6th time in their last 7 games. While losing to a playoff team like New York isn't something to necessarily worry about, the way they played it was a continuation of what has doomed them against much lesser teams in the last 2 weeks. Still, guard Damian Lillard says he doesn't view this as them not playing hard or being outworked.
I think teams are just going after it a little bit harder than us in certain moments. And in those moments, they see a couple shots go in. We turn the ball over. They get on a little bit of a run. And in this league, if you let teams start to believe and feel good about themselves, runs happen. I think that's kind of been the story of these last, 4 or 5, 6 games. Sometimes it gets worse before it gets better.
With just 4 games left in the regular season, Milwaukee a game up on Orlando and 1.5 games up on the Knicks and Cavaliers for the number 2 seed in the playoffs. They're going to host Boston tomorrow night. Turning to the Brewers, they are off to a 6-2 start to the season after taking 2 of 3 from Seattle over the weekend. Going to be back in action tonight as they hit the road to face Cincinnati. It'll be their first series against a fellow team from the NL Central. First pitch is set for 5:40.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Farmers deal with a lot, including long days, stress, and fatigue. This is your reminder to take breaks, stretch, have a snack, and hydrate your body. Avoid farm accidents by keeping yourself healthy. Visit ruralmutual.com to learn how Rural Mutual supports Wisconsin farmers and prioritize safety on the farm.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Well, Wisconsin will start its second full week of spring ball tomorrow as they hit the field for practice number 5. The first 4 practices featured a quarterback competition between transfer Tyler Van Dyke and sophomore Braden Locke for the number 1 job. And the NFL draft coming up just 2 weeks from Thursday. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Good to have you back. This beautiful Monday. I think we are now in the, correct me if I'm wrong, we have begun Eclipse mode, which it's going to go all the way through now till what did Drew Bero say earlier? Till about 3:30 total, but the hardcore portion of the Eclipse will happen at about 205 today, between 150 and they said 1150 today is when it really gets going. And then it'll continue to get darker, and then it'll give the total eclipse, 90% of it here in Wisconsin, around 2 o'clock as the show comes to an end, which basically this dramatic curtain call on the program today. And then it'll start lightening back up by 3:30. We're all back to normal. Is that, correct me if I'm wrong, if that's correct, Grant?
I believe that's the timeline. Yeah, the peak is just as the show is ending, which is perfect. So we don't have to take away time from the program. Yeah.
No, the path of totality, the death, doom, and destruction that everybody is predicting. Just look out. Look out on the roadways. And remember, don't drive down a dirt road and don't run over pedestrians. So, yesterday, I talked a little bit going into the top of the hour, and to all of you on the network, thanks for taking a listen to us. And whether you're up in Green Bay or Menominee, Marinette, all the way down to Platteville and crisscross the state, we appreciate you being here. But yesterday, I talked about, what we did on Saturday. Yesterday, I did something I never thought I would do, ever. And I'm usually not that kind of a guy. I do enjoy, in the summertime, a couple of things specifically. I love being on the boat. I love riding the motorcycle. I love hot, heat, all that kind of stuff. The one thing I don't have, Grant, do you have like a place that you go for a pool? If you just want to hang out by a pool and just lay out for a day and have margaritas, listen to some music, do you have any place you can go?
Yeah, Rachel's parents have a big pool. It's about 4.5 hours away, but
geez, okay.
Worth the journey for a 3-day weekend. Oh, yeah. And my parents live on the lake, so I can do that too, but nothing too close to around here. No.
Okay. So I don't have one. And I don't even have space for one unless I called that Lucas Lagoon guy that could come in and take my sloping yard and make it into something for probably the same cost as my house. But we didn't have really a place to go. So I do enjoy playing golf. I have to admit, I play golf. I don't play a ton. Usually when my friends come to town, we'll always get around to golf in. I got a couple of buddies that like to go every now and then during the week. I don't really do it on the weekend too much. I'm not the weekend duffer guy. I'd rather play easily during the week. So anyway, there is a club. It's called the River Club of Mequon. And it's between Kristen's house and my house. It's closer to hers than it is to mine. But her kids, they don't really have a pool that they go to. There's one in Grafton and Cedarburg. They're really, really crowded on really nice days. But they needed a place to kind of go. And I remember years ago, one of the stations I used to work at, we used to do a golf outing out there every year. And I thought, I remember playing golf there and thinking during the week, there's not a lot of people there. It's a huge, it's an Olympic sized pool plus some. And I thought, man, I wonder what it costs. And I'm not a country club guy at all. You know me. That's not me. That's not who I am. I'd rather be on the Harley or on the boat. But, Kristen likes to work by a pool and lay by the pool. And so we went out there yesterday. They had an open house and we got invited to it. And so I went ahead and pulled the trigger and bought the membership. I never thought of myself as, quote, the country club guy, but I did that yesterday. So I don't know if I should feel different now, if I should start drinking with like my little finger pointed outward now, like I will say one thing. I told my buddy, I said, hey, at least now we've got a place that we can go play some golf if you guys come to town. They got racquetball and pickleball courts and tennis courts and golf course and all that stuff. But I just did it so they had access to a pool. But did you know that when you get a membership to these places, you get a food allotment? And I'm like, oh, this is great. They're going to give us food. Nay. You have to spend so much, or they just add it to your bill, your membership at the end. Now, it's not a ton of money. I'm not saying that because I don't have a ton of money. But I officially yesterday got my River Club of Mequon shirt, and I got my member ID, and now I've got a place to go and hang out during the week and lay by a pool. But there you go. So I never thought I'd be that, but I'm now a country club guy. Grant, do you think less of me?
Do you need to wear a collared shirt, or are there any rules you have to follow when you're there?
I think there are, and that's the reason I'm going to be thrown out probably in a month. You know, I don't think you can play buckwheat Zydeco cruising around the golf course, smoking cigars. I would assume you can. Most country clubs allow you to smoke cigars if they're outside by the fire pit or something. But
yeah, or out on the court. I feel like all nice country clubs, people smoke cigars.
You know, I don't know. I could pull a Costanza and pee in the shower down the drain. Good Seinfeld reference. I don't know. It's a great facility. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Like I said, I played their golf numerous times. A wonderful place, but I never thought that would be me. My buddy, it was funny because my buddy texted me and I said, "Hey, and then the first thing he says is you need naked lady tees and you get a free bowl of soup with a hat like that." So I felt like Ted Knight in the movie Caddyshack. But the second thing is he said, "You're not that guy. You never have been that guy. How long before you get kicked out? And can we play for free before you get kicked out?" So while they make fun of me and pretty much understand who I am and what I am, more of a loser than anything, that they also said, "Hey, at least while you're there, can we suck up a couple of freebies, a couple of free rounds of golf before you get booted?" So, and then he went out and promptly bought me the dancing gopher, the Caddyshack gopher. It pops out of the golf bag and it dances. And he said, "I just bought it. It's on its way." So maybe I'll put that on the desk here inside the studio when it arrives. But did that yesterday. So we now have to have, I guess, a gathering of people so we can roll through our allotment of food and beverage that we need to pay for. So we can put it on the member account, so I don't have to have that added to my bill at the end of the year.
So, and this will shock you, the only experience I have with country clubs is through TV shows and movies that I watch. So I watch a lot of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Larry goes to the club, with his friend Jeff. And when they add new members, they have to go in front of like a board and they have to how extensive was the vetting process for this place? Did they really grill you?
No, I will say this. There's two parts to this. One is you walk in and you're a prospective member. And Kristen is she's the VP of a bank and a business banker, and she's got all the prestige and stuff and knows the money and all that stuff. And I'm just the idiot walking around behind her. So she walks in, she's very dressed. I don't want to say business-like, but she's got the bun up, which I call it the business bun. So when her hair is down, she's out to party. When the bun is there, that's the business bun. Okay. That's what she wears to work. So it's got the business bun and the French tuck shirt where she's got this really cool top on and she's got it tucked into her tight jeans and wearing the heels and looks very, very classy. She's got her nice watch on and the whole thing. And they're talking to her. And I am the bucket of crap following behind her. So they talk to her, they give her the application, and they vet. And we're going into it as a couple. I mean, it's she's helping pay for it. Don't get me wrong. But the joint account is my account. So we use my account to take the money out of, right? So she does the vetting, puts down my account. The money comes out of my account, and she Venmos me the money, so not worried about that. But then it comes to, then I have to sign my name and all that kind of stuff, and they're like, "And you are Bill, and you are Kristen, and very great to have you on board." And you talk to the president of the club, and he welcomes you aboard and the whole thing. And then they realized when they looked at the email address who I was. I don't think that was a good thing. The one guy next to me is talking sports, and he is, this is as God is my witness. We're sitting around this bar and there's all these members, right? And all these members are there as a part of this open house welcome day, right? And this guy is sitting next to me, and I don't think he has a clue as to who I am. And he is talking sports, and he's like, "And look at these golfers. You know what the object is? Hit that ball far." And he clearly is antagonized by sports. And then he's watching the UFL, and he's like, "You know how during the UFL they were showing the coaches actually drawing up plays?" And he says, "Yeah, all of you guys go out and somebody try to catch the damn ball. That's what the object is." And he's being very sarcastic. And then this guy walks over, who's, I guess, the underling to the president. I don't know who he is. And he says, "Bill, I listened to you when you used to work for the Packers and love the postgame show. Appreciate you being here." And he's kind of like, "I appreciate you being here, but I wish you weren't." And the guy next to me turns to me and he says, his wife is very accommodating, very nice. Hi, welcome to the club. We hope to see you around. And he turns to me and he says, oh, you're Bill. You do sports? Oh, nice to meet you. Like I had a turd in my hand. He gives me, God is my witness, he gives me 2 fingers. Like, shake my finger. You're not worthy of the other 2 in my thumb. Just shake my finger and please get the hell away from me. So I'm looking forward to the experience. I should be out of there probably within the next month or 2. And Kristen's probably going to find somebody new with more money than what I have. And she'll live happily ever after. And I'll sit here in my underwear doing the show every day. So that's the way it's all going to work out before it's all said and done. So there you go. Let's do this. We're going to step out and take a quick break. Aren't you impressed now, Grant?
I'm learning so much about this next level of society that I've yet to reach. Country club living. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't give 2 damns about me. They really don't. So 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Stay with us. We got more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up. It's all coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Beautify your entertainment space with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Hi, this is Gina Della from Pella. Turn your ordinary space into something extraordinary with brand new Pella windows. The luxurious look, sleek design, and custom colors available is guaranteed to give your home the extra pop to entertain and keep you comfortable. At Pella, we see windows differently. We have the highest rated energy efficient products and a complete range of durable, functional, and high quality products that bring out the best of your home. Plus, getting the perfect windows and doors for your home has never been easier. Right now, get 0% interest for up to 36 months or no down payment, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months if you book before April 30th. That's right, get 0% interest for up to 36 months or no down payment, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months. If you book before April 30th, take ownership of your living space and make it a place worth living with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
To help take care of your egg operation, you're going to need the brand that you call One Tough Animal. Bobcat Plus, they carry new and used Bobcat equipment and also feature a full service department, parts, rental, so there's no need to worry about downtime. Skid steer loaders, mini excavators, utility vehicles, and so much more. There's a Bobcat Plus location just down the road. Eau Claire, Butler, Appleton, and De Pere. Those chores around the farm just got a lot easier. Stop in or visit bobcatplus.com. Bobcat, One Tough Animal.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes.
Loyalty has its rewards. You love a made-to-order grilled cheesesteak, right? Join the club. You love Wisconsin cheese curds, right? Join the club. You love rewards too, right? Then join the club. The Cousins Club, where you earn points on every purchase, and those points are redeemable on all your favorites. So download the app or sign up online and start earning today. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Good to have you back. The Bill Michaels Show. We continue on. This portion of the program brought to you by Boondocks Barbecue Burgers and Brews. They're out there in Lake Country, Oconomowoc on County Road K to be exact. And they've got the restaurant in the front, the marketplace in the back, weekly specials and a weekly menu coming out. Man, they've got a lot of good stuff happening out there. You know, one thing about Boondocks that I cannot wait for is summer. And you know why? Because summer, the outside patio is open, and the bar that was originally inside Boondocks before they renovated it, they very carefully took this traditional, beautiful old wood mahogany bar, and they got it up from the floor, and then they took it outside. And that's the bar that actually is outside, sitting on the back of the patio with the TVs above it. And I cannot wait, just cannot wait for summertime and head out in that direction. It's a great ride on the motorcycle, or just a great trip if you're out cruising one day and you want to swing in. And whether it's the barbecue from the smoker, the Bang Bang shrimp, or the buffalo chicken salad, or their burgers, I mean, just whatever it is. And inside Boondocks, they have a room. It's called the Veterans Room. If you are a military member or a veteran and you walk in and they can't get you a seat right away, say, hey, I'm a military member, I'm a veteran, and they'll get you right into the Veterans Room, which is really, really cool. And kudos to them for doing that. And Tom and his staff and Roddy and everybody, great people, a lot of fun. That's Boondocks Barbecue Burgers and Brews, County Road K in Oconomowoc, and they cater. The food truck gets out and about. Go to boondocksbbqs.com. That is boondocksbbqs.com. Again, boondocksbbqs.com. This is from Mark, who says, yeah, I've never belonged to a country club. I can only imagine you, unit, walking around a country club in torn up jeans or jean shorts and a t-shirt from the Full Throttle Saloon. I don't know if you're going to be accepted for very long. Enjoy it while you can. You're 100% correct. I don't wear the jean shorts. I'm not that guy anymore. I don't. Jean shorts were 80s, 90s. Correct me if I'm wrong. Although I got to admit, we were out shopping in the Third Ward when we were walking around on Saturday, and there was a whole men's section in one of these consignment shops, and they had nothing but Levi jean shorts. I'm not that guy, you know? And then if you really want to go back to the day, they used to have the jean shorts and you cut them off just like above the knee, and then you rolled them up to make them tight, you know? And yeah, I don't do that anymore. I'm not in high school. So it's not a good look on me. It just isn't.
Bill, I want you to wear what your heart desires, not what, societal norms say you have to wear. Come on now.
You know me, I love like the quarter zip pullovers. I'm all about that. I'll wear those 7 days a week. I don't care. Even with the ones with short sleeves. I love those. So I think that'll fit in. I do have quite a few polos, and I don't mind those, the golf shirts, so to speak. I don't mind those. I try to stay up with the times, and Kristen kind of points me in the right direction when it comes to my clothing opportunities. So she'll point me. I'm like, look, the bottom line is, if it means keeping Kristen, they'll keep me, because God knows they want her laying by a pool, but they don't want me. what they'll do is they'll try to get me to put a beach towel over my head and just cover me up and just say, hey, go lay on that Chase lounge over there. And it's me. I'm like a futon with feet, and they'll just say, go ahead and crash on that dude. And there you go.
Another question.
Yes.
Does this club have a steam room, and is it one of the nude steam rooms where the men? I don't know why this wasn't the first thing I asked. I don't know why this took me 20 minutes.
I don't know, and I'm never going to find out. I don't know.
Well,
I didn't walk in the men's locker room, to be honest with you. I didn't go in there.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't go in there.
So maybe don't charge in naked until the rules.
Yeah, I don't know. I would assume in that locker room would hold true into pretty much every locker room is, you don't cross the streams, and you always have a towel. But no, I'm not that guy. Just not.
As men get older, they just stop caring. That's what I've learned going to the YMCA. They just don't care anymore. When men hit a certain age, they just walk around and all hang out.
I'm like, there is a limit to what you can see, and there's a limit to shame. There just is. And I know people want to get into the whole, oh, you're free and body shaming. No, you should have shame. There should be some level of, dude, you're walking around what looks to be stretched out silly putty. Nobody needs to see that. Just stop. Put that away, sling it over your shoulder, whatever, but just get the hell away from me. And completely agree with you. 100%. So yeah, it's no, I'm right there with you. Just right there with you. Yeah. I am the kind of guy that goes and plays a little golf. If it's a warm day, I'm wearing like dress shorts. If it's not, then I'm wearing, dress pants, play a little golf, and you can find me in the club afterwards, either doing a beverage or sitting out back having a cigar or heading home. And I'm that guy. But yeah, I'm not one of those guys that sit around and plays cards in a locker room with just a towel on and fist bumping my buddies. And, no, that's not me. Just shouldn't happen. I completely agree. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. This was from Mark, who says, are you going to be like Ty Webb and become the club of pro? No. I'm Ty Webb in the actual Caddy Shack. Yeah, hitting it off the pizza in the Bluegrass Amelia. Absolutely. Cannonball. Yeah, I'm that guy. But I'm not the Ty Webb doing the no. That's not me. No. Every now and then I'll play okay. And I'll, break 90, shoot mid 80s, that type of thing. I always shoot for about 85 or less, but I'm always above 80. I've never broken 80. So I broke 90 quite a few times, but not 80. But then there's the day that I'll shoot an 84, and then the next day I'll come back and shoot a 110. That's my level of golf. So, which I consider myself like Tiger at this point. Tiger, by the way, going to play in the Masters. Oh, it's Masters week. Didn't even get into that today.
Do you know a big-time golf analyst, right? This is a world that I'm not familiar with. Who should we have on to talk about the Masters this week?
Gary D'Amato from our own, right here in our own state of Wisconsin. Gary D'Amato's our guy. We should get Gary on to tell. He's probably down there. He's probably down at the Masters. Yeah, we should get Gary on and talk a little bit about it. So, yeah. But it's Masters week. You got the par 3 challenge with the kids and everything coming up this week, and you just had the women's amateur played there, so that's fantastic. So we should be talking a little Masters for sure. That's good stuff too. Excited about that. 877-867-1670. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Masters coming up this week. I am almost as into the Masters as I am the NCAA tournament, and when the tournament gets underway. I don't know why. I just love the Masters. And the best part about it is we don't really have much going on this weekend either, much like last weekend. If it's going to be nice weather, I may cut the grass and watch the Masters. So I got to get a roller for my tractor, my lawn tractor. Something that'll stripe my yard without me spending thousands of dollars on. Can't find one. I don't know why. I just can't. Got an old John Deere. So I have gone completely down a rabbit hole, Grant. I apologize. You work so hard to put this show together, and I just take us right into the toilet. We're swirling right now the bottom.
let's not exaggerate how hard I work back here. I mostly you want to know what I'm doing right now is I was trying to remember, because I've seen Caddyshack and those movies. My favorite movie with a country club in it is Fletch. And I was trying to remember who Chevy Chase charges all the food to, like the grumpy old man at the country club. So now I was
God.
Put it on the Underhills bill.
Underhill, yes. Thank you very much. Underhill.
So yes, I am going to track down Gary Amato, but before I could do that, I had to look up what was the name of the people in Fletch.
Put on the steak sandwich, champagne, and another steak sandwich, and put on a couple $100 for yourself. Yes, yes, that was the best.
I love that movie.
Yeah. So anyway, I love that movie too.
That's gonna be me. I'm gonna roll up your cut. Just put it on the Michaels bill. I'll take a steak sandwich and a glass of champagne.
Steak sandwich, a couple of bottles of champagne. Sending out to the cabana. Yeah, I could see you doing that. Although your cabana is probably your car, but I could see that. They could deliver that out to you.
That's fine.
Yeah.
My car is a paradise. I'll hang out in my car. A lot of luxury. It's an old woman car. Lots of space to stretch out and relax. No problem.
Oh, God. Okay, let's do this. We're going to step out. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk about something positive, shall we? And that is the Milwaukee Brewers off to a fast start. Everybody in the National League Central above 500 at this point. And the Brewers had a couple of rough outings, but beyond that, they have either been getting some stellar pitching and some stellar relief, or they've been able to power the baseball, and they're stealing bases like crazy, and they're getting it from everybody. Dunn, one of the heroes yesterday, some unbelievable defense the other day. Bryce Terang with another over-the-shoulder basket catch that was just amazing yesterday, just continues to be stellar. And this team is just awesome when it comes to defensive speed and Contreras behind the plate. If that guy's not one of the best catchers in baseball right now, I don't know who is. So a lot of positive things to talk about when it comes to the Milwaukee Brewers. By the way, speaking of golf, for those that wanted to know, nay. We are completely sold out. No spots left for the Bill Michaels Open Saturday, May 4th in Viroqua. We're only a few weeks away from that. I can't believe it. 3 weeks away, I think, at Viroqua Hills Golf Course. So maybe I can go to my club, and kind of hone my skills a little bit, and then get up to Viroqua and then play a little bit better and not embarrass myself. But we're going to be there that weekend on Friday the 3rd. Going to be down at Kickapoo Creekside doing some dinner later in the evening. And then on Saturday from, I think, 8 to 10, we're going to be at the Nelson Agri Center raising some money for cancer research and soul burners. And then from there, we're going to head over to Viroqua Hills Golf Course, and we're going to do some great things there and have a lot of fun, and then do some dinner and such after the fact. But I am sorry to say, but I'm not sorry to say that the event has sold out within 2 weeks. So thanks to everybody for participating. And for those of you that didn't get in on it, but you still want to do something great for the community, come out and see us at the Nelson Agri Center on Saturday, May 4th, Saturday between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. And we're going to take some donations and raise some money and have a great time. So thanks to everybody for participating, and thanks for selling that thing out so fast. No doubt about it.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
You would like something to eat or drink, senor?
Actually, I would.
Charge it to the Underhill, senor.
Yeah, that's right. Do you have any caviar?
Si, senor. Beluga, but it is $80 a portion.
Well, then I better just take 2 portions of that. How's the lobster thermidor?
I recommend it, senor.
Good, that'll be fine. Bring 2 bottles of Dom Perignon to Cabana 1.
Very good, senor.
And put down $30 for yourself, huh?
Muchas gracias, senor.
It's the nicest place.
I love it. Love it. Blues Traveler, too. Love that. Country Club Living. There you go. For sure. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. That is awesome. That is awesome. Dynamite drop in there, one young Grant Bills. Love it.
Just going to charge it to the Michaels.
Charge it to the Michaels account. There you go. Good stuff. 877-867-1670. Hit us up if you are listening to us throughout the great land that is the state of Wisconsin over the air. We certainly appreciate you being here all the way from Rice Lake down to Milwaukee. Milwaukee on the big 920 in Milwaukee. And tell your friends and neighbors. We do great in every city. And in Milwaukee, while social media-wise, we kick everybody's ass, I still get people are like, I wish we were back on the air. I've been on the air for 4 years. They don't do anything to help us out at the big 920. They gotta start promoting the hell out of the show. So, or spread the word to your friends and neighbors. But nevertheless, got that a couple of times this past weekend. I'm like, we never, and I feel bad because I say it. I'm like, well, we never left. And they look at you like, oh God, I'm stupid. I'm like, no, don't be stupid. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Just tell your friends and neighbors. There you go. Find us there. That's awesome. Our buddy Dwayne from Dwayne's Cover It All, which, by the way, the best listening to us up there in Wausau, but the best when it comes to boat covers, awnings out in front of your business, some gym equipment, office furniture. If you want to get that redone, whatever it happens to be, he can get it all done for you. Dwayne's Cover It All, DUANES, Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com. Call them up in Wausau, 715-870-2119. This time of year, whether you're looking for a travel cover for your boat, a bimini top, some upholstery that may not have survived the cold of the winter, whatever it happens to be, get a hold of him and he can help you out. Dwayne's, DUANES, Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com, 715-870-2119, 715-870-2119. And he says, hey, timeout, Grant. Bill in some jean cutoff shorts with the white fray happening? No, I think I'm going to pass on that. Dwayne, I'll pass on that in a heartbeat. I can't do that anymore. I've got some jeans that got some holes in them. I usually, wear those when I'm out scuffing around or I'm riding a motorcycle or something. It's the look. But I can't do the jean cutoff shorts anymore. You can't play golf in it for two reasons. One, on a really hot day, you better be sponsored by Gold Bond. You really should. And then the second thing is there's no give. Once you get wet in jeans and you're moist, and I hate to use that word, but once you're moist in jeans, you can't do that, man. You can't do it. And then if you, God forbid, you put powder on anything, then all of a sudden it becomes like like baking soda and water and paste. And then, that's not good either. So then I feel like Ross in the show Friends trying to pull up the leather pants and you smack yourself in the head and not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not going to wear the Daisy Dukes either. I'll tell you that right now. I don't have to wear Daisy Dukes for my ass to fall out. So gravity will do that for you. How are we looking? Grant, you got palm to forehead right now in this program just going, what the hell happened here?
Well, I mean, nothing you said about jean shorts is incorrect. Like,
Correct.
You start to sweat in those things, there's no breathability.
Yep.
So, no, I'm not going to put my palm to forehead. These are good takes and good opinions you're sharing right
just
now.
Life lessons. We should do a life lessons segment of the show. Just ask certain questions and I'll give you the life lesson on it and see if it jives with what people are thinking. So it's kind of common sense, I guess, for lack of a better term. But there you go. 877-867-1670. Over the weekend, the Milwaukee Brewers impress. And they impress to the point that, not only are they winning, and they're playing winning baseball right now, but everybody in the National League Central is pretty much playing winning baseball right now, believe it or not. Every team in the NL Central is now over 500. Some of the hotter teams, obviously, still you've got to the Pirates. They are 8-2 on this young season. The Brewers, they won one, then lost one and won one, and beat the hell out of them yesterday when it came to the Seattle Mariners. Got the walk-off win. Oh, man. You talk about a pit. Munoz just could not find the plate. And I got to be honest, a couple of those pitches I thought, you could call them a strike. And I know that Seattle felt like the Brewers were getting walks handed to them. 4 straight walks to end the game. I mean, I've never seen anything like that in my lifetime. 4 straight walks to end the ball game. But the strike zone was tight all night. I mean, it was in the box pretty much all night. And I can't, it sucks if you're a Mariners fan, but I can't argue it because the strike zone was pretty much tight all evening. So the walk and the stolen base and done with that, just laying it out, line drive catch between, which would have actually ended up being a base knock between third base and short, but really it might have even kind of curved down the line. It could have gone for a double, but done with just like Supermaning out and then coming down and banging his face on the turf in the dirt after the fact. I mean, what, just great defense. And then they lost one. It was kind of a gimme. They just got blown up on Saturday and then bounced back with just a bash of home runs and scoring opportunities and stolen bases and terrific defense. Like I said, Bryce Terang, that catch that he made in shallow right field, going out for a ball over his head and kind of basket catching it over his head. Just incredible defense, just all the way around. So the Brewers get a couple of wins over the weekend. The Brewers sitting in second place right now at 6-2. The Cubs, The Cubs started off 0-2. Since then, they are 6-1. And the Cubs have now pushed their record to 6-3 and pushed up to just behind the Brewers, a half game behind the Crew, game and a half behind Pittsburgh. Cincinnati, they lost the weekend series in New York. They are now 5-4 on the season. And then there's the Cardinals. The Cardinals have battled back to at least being 500. Now, they lost yesterday, but they've at least battled back to being 500. And they were at one point 15 runs under in the differential, the negative 15. They went positive 10 over the weekend, or positive 11 over the last, I think, 4 games. But nevertheless, they're now just down to negative 5. So at least they're starting offensively to bounce back a little bit. But what did we learn over the weekend? Well, one, the Miami Marlins are awful. They're still a terrible, terrible baseball team. They just are. The Braves, they're for real. Still 6-2. Philadelphia, a game under 500. Now think about this. Every team in the National League Central is either over 500 or 500. The Cardinals are 500. Meanwhile, you've got just the Dodgers at 8-4 in the West. Everybody else is under 500. The Braves are 6-2 in the East. Everybody else is under 500. Think about that. If the Brewers were in the East, they'd be tied for the top spot in the division. If the Brewers were in the West, they'd be second behind the Dodgers right now. Now, Pittsburgh obviously would be leading the East, and they'd be leading the West as well because they would have 2 less losses than the Dodgers. They would actually be leading the West. That's what kind of a start the Pittsburgh Pirates have gotten off to. But good baseball over the weekend, and hopefully the Brewers can keep it going. Cincinnati kind of licking their wounds, coming back to Great American Ballpark where it's in the 70s today. This is the kind of weather, and just from living there for so many years, where it starts to get a little bit warm. You don't have the humidity yet, but it starts to get a little bit warm. But what you get is where that stadium sits, you get that up the river valley, okay, up that Ohio River basin right there. You start to get those breezes, and it starts to roll through, and it pushes the ball out to center and to left. Or, I mean, some batters actually say the wind will suck the ball out of right field. I notice it more to left field and to center field. But you'll start seeing the ball starting to fly out of the ballpark there in Cincinnati. So Brewers open up a 4-game series. 4-game series. I think all the games are 5:40. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think all the games are 5:40 except for Thursday's matchup, which I think is a noon start our time. A noon start our time. So they're getting ready to take on the Reds. Yeah, 5:40 tonight. Ashby goes to the Hill. You got Ash on the Hill today. Ashby and Ashcraft. Ashby goes to the Hill for the Crew, and Ashcraft today for the Reds. Ashcraft, the first outing he had, ended up taking a loss, but he's got a 3 ERA. He hasn't pitched bad. Just their bullpen. Their bullpen's not much better than it was last year, and they've lost some games because of it. So, meanwhile, Pittsburgh, they're hosting the Tigers coming up later on today. You've got St. Louis hosting the Phillies later on today, and also the Cubs are on the road. They're doing the West Coast swing, and they are taking on the Padres in San Diego, and that's the way things shape up. But the Brewers, how about them Brewers, man? How about them Brewers? Fan Wisconsin, good morning to you from Palm Springs as well. There you go. There you have it. Let's do this. We're going to step out. We'll take a quick break. Stay tuned. Whole lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Ready? This is
Wisconsin. Hi, this is Gina Della from Pella. Turn your ordinary space into something extraordinary with brand new Pella windows. The luxurious look, sleek design, and custom colors available is guaranteed to give your home the extra pop to entertain and keep you comfortable. At Pella, we see windows differently. We have the highest rated energy efficient products and a complete range of durable, functional, and high quality products that bring out the best of your home. Plus, getting the perfect windows and doors for your home has never been easier. Right now, get 0% interest for up to 36 months or no down payment, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months if you book before April 30th. That's right, get 0% interest for up to 36 months or no down payment, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months. If you book before April 30th, take ownership of your living space and make it a place worth living with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Good to have you back. The Bill Michaels Show. We continue on this portion of the program brought to you by our friends over there. Steel Tank Brewing, Robrook Lane and Oconomowoc, right behind the Exonia Bank off of 67 Rally Point. Terrific place. Live music. Good food. Brunch on the weekends. Good stuff from our friends at Steel Tank Brewing. And they're open Tuesday through Sunday. If you want to go in and do lunch, like I said, over the weekends, you can do some brunch there. And Rally Point was cranking again on Saturday night. The new music venue, which is just awesome. So check out our friends, Dave and the gang at Steel Tank Brewing. Katie, the GM over there, say hi. Good stuff. Good stuff from our friends at Steel Tank Brewing. I got the question posed to me. So and my argument, and I shouldn't say argument because it's not an argument. It's just an opinion. It said, hey, Bill, Brewers 6-2. What do you think they are? And my answer, and this is a very boring, obvious answer. Okay, so get ready for this. They're 6-2. What are they? We're not even 10 games into the season in a very, very, very long season. And they're going to change personality maybe one or two more times before the season culminates. So I don't have, if I had to say this is what the Brewers are, they're a team that is younger. They're a team that is fast. They're a team they're going to put pressure on you defensively because they have team speed. They're a team that can take an extra base if they get a base hit down the line and you're going to field it deep into a corner, or you're going to field it deep into a gap. Okay. Even though you may cut the ball off, they're going to take the extra base on you. They're going to make you work for it. I love the fact that Pat Murphy is the guy that says, we're going to make them make a play on us. If you make that play, and it's a smart situation to make the play, but if you make a play, kudos to you. But if you don't, we're going to beat you. And I love that. I love it. I love that mentality. So they're young, they're aggressive, they're defensively stellar. They've got some good veteran mix and pop. Christian Yelich, Rhys Hoskins, Contreras. They've got some guys that can lead. Adames goes yard again. So, and then you've got, you've got what is probably the biggest question mark, and that is the full-time starting rotation, top to bottom. So, I don't know. I mean, that's what they are. Huge question mark, like many teams this time of year. They're a huge question mark via pitching, and you're hoping that the pitching does just enough to where the offense and the aggressiveness continue to pay off. And then as time goes on, you hope, knock on wood, Devin Williams can come back. You hope that Miley comes back and can eat up innings. And you hope that one or two of these starters kind of catch, and that you have more good than bad out of Peralta. They're not going to blow you away with their pitching staff. But what they're going to do is let their pitching staff put the ball in play, and they're going to make plays. And that's what's exciting. That's what's exciting. But beyond that, hey, what do you make of it? They're 6-2. Baseball's such a long season, and personalities change so much. So many things can happen. Wait till they go on their first, and I hate to say this, but wait till they go on their first losing streak, where you lose a series or you lose 3 out of 4. See what kind of character they have, what kind of bounce back they have, see what kind of resiliency they have, see, let's knock on wood again, that the injuries don't bite this team. You don't have 3 and 4 and 5 injuries to key players or to the speed of your defense, So that's it. James, you said it best. He said they regressed in pitching, but progressed in hitting, and they have a better manager than Counsell. I don't know about better manager. There are people that didn't like Craig, and I don't know why. He was by far the winningest manager all time in a shorter period of time in Brewers history. He won games. You can't argue with that. He won games. He didn't win the way you wanted him to win in the postseason, but he won games. And let's be honest, there's a lot of times when it comes to the postseason, it becomes different. And you're facing consistently good pitching usually in the postseason. And yet somehow Counsell wanted to get blamed for that, or people wanted to blame Counsell for that. And it's a different message. Things are good. Let's wait a little bit before you start making the decision that Craig was such an incredibly bad manager, or that Pat Murphy is just that much better a manager than he is. I hope that Pat Murphy wins. I hope he wins a lot of games. I hope he wins a championship. I want to see the Brewers win a championship before I die, but I'm going to back off of the, anti-Craig Counsell stuff, because I just don't feel it's there. I don't feel it's warranted. I just don't.
I actually there's a couple things that Pat Murphy did this weekend I didn't love. He didn't need to use Hobie Milner Saturday night when they were losing.
Right.
Murphy is not this perfect manager, but it's a different type of brand of baseball, a little more aggressive on the base paths, put the ball in play, and the offense is going to be more fun this year. So I think the team a lot will be more fun to watch this year than they have been in the past. I don't know if that's because they're any better or worse off at manager.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But I agree with you. I love the aggressiveness, and I love the defense. These guys, let them go play. And he's used to being around youth when he was coaching college. He's used to being around that level of energy, and that let them go. Let them have fun. Let them be those guys, and don't be the micromanager. Now you can put them in situations where they can be successful, sure, but don't be the micromanager to where you're the guy that has to make them successful. Let them be successful. Just put them in a good position. So I I'm enjoying it so far. Brian says, I think better in this way that Council did not believe in small ball or bunting a runner into scoring position on the playoffs against the pitching of the Dodgers, the Braves games. They were low scoring. You needed that, and Murphy used that against the Mets. He did, but it's not that Craig didn't. The way it was explained was Craig kind of left it up to each individual hitter, and it's something that they worked on. It's just sometimes also, as Craig alluded to, is that there were some guys that weren't very good at it, and you can't send a guy up there just to drop a bunt down when he's not that good at it. You run the risk is far higher than what the reward would be at that point. So, and I get it. Look, I'm not sitting here defending Craig other than the fact that Craig did a lot of good and won a lot of games for this Brewers franchise. Let's remember that. Got another hour yet to go. Don't go anywhere. We got a whole lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. It's coming up right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, Milwaukee's late season slide continued last night against the Knicks as they lost for a fourth straight time and sixth time in their last 7 games. While losing to a playoff team like New York isn't something to necessarily worry about, the way they played it was a continuation of what has doomed them against much lesser teams in the last 2 weeks. Still, guard Damian Lillard says he doesn't view this as them not playing hard or being outworked.
I think teams are just going after it a little bit harder than us in certain moments. And in those moments, they see a couple shots go in. We turn the ball over. They get on a little bit of a run. And in this league, if you let teams start to believe and feel good about themselves, runs happen. I think that's kind of been the story of these last 4 or 5, 6 games. Sometimes it gets worse before it gets better.
With just 4 games left in the regular season, Milwaukee a game up on Orlando and 1.5 games up on the Knicks and Cavaliers for the number 2 seed in the playoffs. They're going to host Boston tomorrow night. Turning to the Brewers, they are off to a 6-2 start to the season after taking 2 of 3 from Seattle over the weekend. They'll be back in action tonight as they hit the road to face Cincinnati. It'll be their first series against a fellow team from the NL Central. First pitch is set for 5:40.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
When a company only does business in Wisconsin, that's Wisconsin Strong. Rural Mutual provides all lines of insurance, including commercial, farm, home, and auto. And your premiums stay right here to keep Wisconsin strong. Local agents, local underwriters, local claims adjusters.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Well, Wisconsin will start its second full week of spring ball tomorrow as they hit the field for practice number 5. The first 4 practices featured a quarterback competition between transfer Tyler Van Dyke and sophomore Braden Locke for the number 1 job. And the NFL draft coming up just 2 weeks from Thursday. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Welcome back. Good to have you. The final hour of the Bill Michaels Show. On board, enjoying the day. Sunshine today, and very slowly, it's going to start to dissipate until the end of the program. The curtain shall fall on the program in about an hour from now, as darkness begins to fall upon us to the 90% level here in the, we're outside of the path of totality. And then it'll start getting lighter again. And then we can all see and run back outside, and the world will not, pass us by, and we're going to be okay. So pet the dog, get yourself a beverage, sit back, relax, watch it go dark, and then lighten up again. And then realize we're going to be okay, which is good. Scott Service is he is the manager of the Seattle Mariners, and he is also, as we all know, from Wisconsin. And correct me if I'm wrong, you were saying, and I thought this for sure, he is from the Westby area?
I think all of those towns kind of bump together. So where someone's from, where they go to school. I think originally, and I could be slightly wrong, he's from Coon Valley, went to Westby High School.
The Coon Valley area, which I know extremely well, and I hope to ride my motorcycle through there a little bit this year. Scott Service after the game.
Yeah, Hold on, Bill. I should probably kill your music. It's the Eclipse. It's the Eclipse. Okay, it's got my producer brain. I'm blaming the Eclipse. Here is Scott Service. He's talking about that line drive his pitcher took.
Yeah, it's contusion. He got smoked. I'll give him credit for trying to stay in there. He knew where we were at with the bullpen. Today was the day to try to get some length out of him.
That was, if you saw that back up the gut, that was when Ed hit Scott. I thought it hit him in the ankle, seeing it live. And then you watch the replay, and it hit him just below the knee, and that it hurt to even watch. And they kept showing it again and again. We were sitting we were having some lunch. We were at Social House yesterday having lunch and watching a game, and the whole crowd's like, oh. And then they show it again. The place was packed. It was like, that was just such a burner up the gut. Man, oh man, oh man. So glad to see he was able to at least walk off. But I got to tell you, today he's probably hurting like a mo today. Pat Murphy though says, hey, despite a 10-run lead, I love this about him. Can't let up, baby. Can't let up.
It never feels like it isn't close, to be honest with you. When you're on a coaching staff, you're thinking of everything, and you want to make sure that you guard against any implosion.
The discussion yesterday, I mean, obviously William Contreras has just been, since they brought him in, he has been, at the catching. I can't remember the last time they had this kind of a catcher that was this stable behind the plate with power and command and an arm. And that has certainly solidified that battery. That's for sure. And then you got Colin Ray and the performance that he had yesterday. I mean, it was just, it was solid. And here's Murphy after the game.
He's been unbelievable for us behind the dish and swinging the bat. He's swinging the bat very, very well. But he has chased a little, and he's been in between a little. He wasn't on the top of his offensive game. Today he was special. And you can get that out of William. He's that good. Like I've mentioned, this is a guy that's coming into his own in both sides of the ball. But what he does behind the plate is so underrated because you can't see it in the box score. And the staff, he's working with a very, very inexperienced staff that we're trying to squeeze every ounce of everything out of. And what he did today for Colin, as you may or may not know, was sick, is sick. He's had a stomach virus, it looks like, and had lost a lot of fluids in every way you can. So at that point, he was touch and go how far he could go. You see his velocity was down, his stuff wasn't great, and William and him worked together and did an incredible job. Colin was special.
So Colin Ray, which again, like he said, I mean, he was ill, and like he said, losing fluids in every way you can. We all know there's 3 ways to lose fluids, short of blowing your nose massively. And so he was kind of alluding to the fact, like, look, this guy was doing it negatively in every damn way, and he still went out there and gutted it out. Now, Colin Ray, one of the things that he brought up immediately, and this is what I brought up too, was Oliver Dunn has made already some amazing plays down at third base, and that's recognized.
Yeah, he's saved me more than a few times already this year. It makes a big difference is how you go attacking hitters and knowing that the guys we have behind us will make those plays.
Colin Ray also talks about, look, some of the things that we were talking about in the last segment where you get a question about what do you see out of this team? What is this team? Colin Ray, he says what he sees out of this team after their 6-2 start.
Just coming to the yard every day, just ready to compete, one game at a time, being aggressive, no one guy's going to do it. You know, we got to all come in here and not try and do too much. Just, you know, keep being aggressive and competing in the box, competing on the mound, and, you know, it'll take care of itself.
So there you go. That's the Brewers, Colin Ray, Pat Murphy and company after the game, and even Scott Service from Coon Valley going to the Westby area. So as the Mariners lose 2 out of 3 to the Brewers over the weekend. Like I said, the Brewers, Ashby on the Hill today for the Milwaukee Brewers as they take on Cincinnati, 5:40 first pitch at Great American Ballpark coming up later on this evening. In that I would love to see, now you're into the division, and I would love to see the Brewers, man, it's wishful thinking to get 3 out of 4 on the road against the division rival, but man, if they could get 3 out of 4. Get 3 out of 4 there. Stay on pace with Pittsburgh. Maybe watch the Cubs falter a little bit, which I think we're all kind of, you know, secretly hoping for to see the Cubs go down. I don't want to see it come down to the Cubs because the Cubs are late tonight. They start on the road in San Diego, and you got Assad going against Yu Darvish today. So it's not some kind of a massive stellar matchup, but Assad last time out didn't give up a run and got the win. So he's getting the start today for Craig Counsell's crew. But you'd love to see the Cubs take a couple of losses. Brewers get 3 out of 4. Just stay at pace with. And the Tigers aren't playing bad baseball right now. The Tigers are on the road in Pittsburgh tonight, and you got Olsen taking on Keller there this evening. So I'm going to be paying attention to MLB Strike Zone tonight for sure.
As president of the Aaron Ashby fan club, like, no one loves me, some Aaron Ashby, more than me. Like, I just love the guy. I don't think he's ready. I don't think that if the Brewers had any other choice that he would be up in the majors pitching tonight. And I hope that he's great, and I hope that he finds it. But really, at no point since this arm injury that he suffered last year has he looked good or solid enough to be like a major league starter. I'm worried a little bit.
I got to do this real quick. I got a buddy of mine named Chuck, and Chuck, God love him. He's a nut. And Chuck made his way to Indianapolis. He just sent me pictures pulling into the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's packed with people. The skies they got wispy clouds, might be the best way to put it. Blue skies, wispy clouds. And it's like a line of cars, this long line of cars. There's people all over the front straight, the pagoda, which is right there at the start-finish line. And there's news trucks and live shots. And I mean, it is, and they've got security, they've got parking attendants, thousands and tens of thousands of people crowded into the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for today's viewing of the Path of Totality. And Chuck says, hey, Bill, I hope you enjoyed the pictures. I know you were talking about this over the weekend. This is how many people have actually made the trek here. Yes, I'm one of the idiots that are sitting in the middle of Indianapolis Motor Speedway, getting ready for the moon to block out the sun. Then I'm going to drive back home. Tell me where the skyline is. Maybe I'll pick up a cheese coney. It's right on the way out of town. It's just north of the city. So if you just Google it, just Google nearby Skyline Chili, you're good to go. Or go to, there's a up 65. There's I think it's in Remington. There's a place called Penn Station. That's just as good too. Philly cheesesteak sub. Extra onions, extra mayo, extra cheese. Psh, boy, you're in. Mushrooms too, by the way. But he is actually there at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Would you jump in the car, Grant, with Rachel and say, you know what, we're going to Indy. We want to see this.
Yeah, if I didn't have any job responsibilities, I wouldn't take vacation days for it. But if I was, let's say, 63 and happily retired and, life had slowed down. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Another dumb thing that I want to do that, again, I wouldn't take time off for, and maybe you've heard of this, or maybe not, when the Sandhill cranes all migrate down in Nebraska and they fly in by the hundreds of thousands, that's something that I would also like to see. But again, I'm not going to take vacation days for it. So I wouldn't call those bucket list items, driving to Nebraska and, Indiana, but if I had more time, things I would do.
Yeah. If I had to do that, yeah, I probably would. I mean, if I had time and maybe I don't know. I you know what? Here's the God's honest truth. If I was going to go see this thing, I would have got there early to go through the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum and gift shop. That's what I would go there for. If I was going to Indy, that's what I would go there for. I think the Eclipse would be a byproduct of that. It'd be like, okay, look up. Okay, don't look anymore. Now we're leaving. That would be it. I would probably then head down to, God, I can't remember the name of the bar. They got a great cigar bar right in the middle of downtown and just off of Monument Circle down there. Oh my God, I can't remember the name of it. Nikki Blaine's cigar bar. I'd go there. I'd go to the Speedway, then I'd go there, and then I'd stay overnight and I'd come home. Beyond that, probably not. But it gives me a reason to go to Nikki Blaine's. So my priorities are different. Unless I just go east and then I'd go to the house in Brookville, Indiana, and hang out there on the lake for a while. And I love the weather stuff. I just do. But I don't know. It's like even our buddy Drew Bero, who we had on in the first segment of the show, or second segment of the show today, the meteorologist from CBS 58. Didn't it even sound like Drew was kind of like, it's pretty cool. I mean, but I don't know why people are going nuts, right? Didn't it sound like it was like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, our world is filled with natural beauty and phenomena, like all the like northern lights, eclipses, all these things I would love to see. But I can only driving to Ohio,
right?
Like I need some free time to be able to do that. I'm not taking vacation days to drive to Toledo or wherever.
No, not doing that. Not happening. I mean, if you were looking at, they have a flight tracker app. And you can look at all the airports in those areas through that, what they call that path of totality, to see the flights that were added to go into those areas yesterday and today. It's insane. It's insane. Airports are backed up with people trying to get to Indianapolis, Indiana, and up into Toledo, Ohio, and up into Maine. Apparently, Maine is going to get like the best view. Up into Maine. People are flying to Maine. The only reason I would go to Maine or Vermont is to see where Newhart was filmed from years ago. Beyond that, not happening.
Go to the Ben & Jerry's factory. I by the way, I ate a whole pint of Ben & Jerry's while watching WrestleMania last night. Oh,
did you?
So good. So good. Yeah. And I felt like crap afterwards, but 100% worth it. I went to bed with a smile on my face.
Okay, what was the highlight of the moment of WrestleMania last night? Give us the full WrestleMania update.
Undertaker coming out, just because the crowd lost their minds when that bell rang. That
Yeah.
was so, and I was pulling for Cody Rhodes because this moment felt like it was deserved for him for years now.
Okay.
So to see him finally get that win was cool, but when Undertaker came out, choke slammed the Rock down, that was great.
Yeah, and he was making a return, right? He hasn't wrestled in a while.
Yeah, well, so I'm not the world's biggest WWE fan. I think his retirement was kind of coinciding with the pandemic, and I don't know that he got the send-off that he would have liked in the ring. I think it was kind of, so for him to come back for this, I think was cool for that reason too.
Okay. There you have it. That is our WWE update. For those that say we don't ever talk about it. Was there anything else that you wanted to point out before we go to commercial break?
No, that's about it. I think that's it. JR strikes me as someone who could be into wrestling, and I mean that because like JR has all these interests that he's always tweeting about. I'm not sure though.
J.R. Radcliffe is going to join us. We're going to talk some Brewers baseball when we come back. So we go from the Eclipse and motor racing to Indianapolis Motor Speedway to a cigar bar, back to Wisconsin, into WrestleMania. And then we turn things over to J.R. Radcliffe and we talk some Brewers baseball. It doesn't get much better than that. So we got a lot of stuff coming up. Don't go anywhere. Whole lot more of the Bill Michaels Show happening coming up right after this. Stay tuned.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
When it's party time, make it easy time. Make it Cousins Catering time. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. So when catering counts, count on Cousins. Cousins Subs Catering. We believe in better. When it's party time, make it easy time. Make it Cousins Catering time. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. So when catering counts, count on Cousins. Cousins Subs Catering. We believe in better.
Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program. Good to have you on board the Bill Michaels Show. We continue on. Hopefully, you're enjoying your day, witnessing the path of totality. It should start getting a little darker here soon. Ooh, booky. But it's going to happen, and then we're going to get light again, and then we'll all wait for it for another 40 years. So there you have it, or 20 years. So in the meantime, the Brewers playing good baseball. And in the world of what it is we discuss, the moon passing in front of the sun is not of utmost importance, but the Brewers winning baseball games and winning series is. J.R. Radcliffe from the Journal-Sentinel covers the Brewers, does some stuff via the Bucks podcast as well, joining us on the hotline. JR, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Not much, man. Just staring at the sun, waiting for my eyes to burn. Not really seeing anything. It still looks like light to me, but
right.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
So, okay, let's start with this win yesterday. They're doing it in so many different facets. And somebody had asked me, they said, look, 8 games in, what do you make of this team? And I said, I make the fact that they're 6-2. You can't tell what their personality is, other than the fact they're a team that is very good defensively and seemingly very fast and very aggressive when it comes to the base path. And I like it, but they don't have an identity that I can say I can specifically put my thumb on at this point, because you don't know what the pitching is, right?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think the pitching might be the biggest question or storyline that we have to deal with here in the early going. And not to dismiss what 6-2 is very good. That's a great start. Great 10 days to start the season. But I mean, I still have some major questions about what they're able to do. It feels like they came into the year with a plan that, we are not going to emphasize starting. We're not going to emphasize working deep into games. We're going to have relievers that can go 2, 3, heck, maybe more innings. I don't know about that, but we're going to do it differently than we have in years past. And that's fine. I find it a little hard to believe that it can be sustained over the course of a full season. I think if you're going to have success with it, it is going to be early in the season when everyone's fresh and presumably you haven't experienced all the injuries that you're going to experience, although the Brewers have certainly had those too. When they're fully healthy, I honestly don't know what this looks like. I don't know if fully healthy they even have what we'd consider like a traditional rotation. I find that kind of interesting, but certainly they're not fully healthy, so we don't really even know what to make of that. I think it's unsustainable stuff, but I'm happy to be proven wrong, and I think the offense has been really good. It hasn't produced maybe as many runs before Sunday as they would like, but I do think the offense is looking pretty good and pretty comfortable, and they're going to be able to overcome, I think, over the course of the year, some of these pitching shortcomings.
So let me step back a minute. I got somebody that says it comes down to Craig Counsell was a boring coach that didn't equate to postseason wins. They didn't have the attack mentality that they needed to be a playoff team. Because people are already wanting to make assertions that Pat Murphy's far better manager than Craig Counsell. And I like what I hear out of Murph. I love his frankness. I love his honesty. I love his praise that he gives his guys in so many different ways. He's a different type of voice. But, I can't jump into that boat yet, only for the fact that, first of all, Craig's the winningest manager in Brewers history, and we haven't even seen Pat Murphy manage in the postseason yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you. You can't draw that conclusion yet, and even if you could, I just disagree with the premise a little bit that a manager's attack mentality has anything to do with success in the playoffs. I think there's just too much random, too much about which pitchers are hot when, which offenses are just clicking at the right time of the year. There's just only so much a manager can do. I maintain, and I loved Craig Counsell as a manager. I think I think he comes by that reputation, honestly, as one of the best in baseball, really getting the most out of his roster. I don't think he's going to make the difference, no matter who the new manager is, of more than maybe 2 wins over the course of the year. I really think it's that small, that minimal. And I think Pat Murphy is fine. I think a lot of the things we've seen from Pat Murphy are pretty consistent with what we would have seen from Craig Counsell. Early hook for a pitcher who isn't necessarily underperforming, but you get there's just maybe some signs that the next time through the order won't be so good. Using those platoons as much as humanly possible. I'm sure none of us thought Oliver Dunn would be getting this many at bats early in the season, even after we knew he made the team. But here he is, batting cleanup in some cases, or was batting cleanup in the lineup there, and seemingly like an everyday third baseman. I mean, Murphy's willing to experiment a little bit, and so far, yeah, the results have been there too. But I don't see this as a dramatic departure from what we had with Craig Counsell, and I don't think any of it ties into what you see in the postseason.
And I completely agree. I like what we've seen. But I will say this, the individuals that have played well, I mean, you look at that over-the-shoulder catch that Terang had yesterday. You look at Cherio's arm in the outfield. Even Christian Yelich has shown off a little bit of arm this year. The speed that they have. You mentioned Dunn. That catch that he had on Friday night was just amazing late in that ball game, and probably ultimately might have saved the game, to be honest with you. I mean, to me, I look at this team, and I love the aggressiveness. Don't get me wrong. But their defense is something special right now.
Yeah, and that's been the case. That's what it was last year. This is when I talk about that pitching plan that's maybe a little more non-traditional. Part of what the Brewers think about their pitching staff is that the defense is going to make up for any shortcomings they have in the arms department. And that was true last year. And it's true again this year. Their defense is top of the line. It's why a guy like Blake Perkins makes this team out of camp, or why a lot of the decisions they make are the decisions they make, because they really, really value defense. Bryce Terang's offense was so bad last year. It's almost crazy to think that they would come back and expect him to be your starting second baseman again. But first of all, he's hitting quite a bit better, so he is, more than holding his own offensively. But that, like you said, defensively, you can't beat that. And up the middle, Adames, Terang, great center field options. They got a quality defensive catcher in William Contreras, and that's huge. Up the middle defense is huge for this team, and it bears fruit. It has worked out for them. They have found something with this formula the last couple of years. You're right. There's the running game, which seems to be amped up even more this year compared to last year. Their team speed is a strength. It works on the base paths and in the field, and they're making the most of it. I got to hand it to them.
I'm talking with J.R. Radcliffe, at J.R. Radcliffe over there on X on Twitter, covering the Brewers, and does some stuff with Jim Ozarski via the Bucks podcast as well. Talk to me about the pitching staff. Let's get into the starting rotation. Freddie Peralta, great outing. Then iffy outing, and I said all along, look, it's some days you're just going to have to outpunch the punchers, and you're going to have to outdo whatever the pitching staff is not capable of. Other days, you're going to eventually find some guys that are going to fit into a group. We don't really know what to make of what this pitching staff is totality right now, but the back end of the bullpen has certainly been pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some hiccups with Abner Uribe, who at the moment is sort of the de facto closer until Devin Williams can come back. But I do like him. I think the upside is massive with Abner Uribe. You know, the talent and ability to be a big time big league closer. Joel Payamp up and down as well, but when he's on, he's very good. I think you could say that about a lot of guys in their bullpen. They find guys who just maybe they're on no one's radar, and next thing you know, they're like second on the team in appearances and have been mostly great. Hobie Milner comes to mind in recent years. Bryce Wilson last year. I don't know if anybody thought those guys were going to be massive contributors to a division championship team, but that's exactly what happened. So I do have faith in their ability to build a bullpen, sustain a bullpen, even if guys maybe don't live up to what you'd expect. I think, like going back to that rotation, it's just, man, there's just not a lot of guys outside of Freddie Peralta that I think can make it through 6 innings on a regular basis. Even Freddie, I think he's shown over the course of his career that he can be lights out, and that switch can flip pretty quickly. So you kind of have to be careful with him. He's not really a guy that's going to go into the 7th all that often. DL Hall is still a work in progress. Joe Ross, we haven't really seen a lot from yet. Jacob Junis just went on the injured list. Wade Miley is still has to come back. Colin Ray is as reliable as anyone in that rotation. That doesn't scream on paper a rotation that's going to take you into the playoffs. But like I said, it's a holistic picture. It's not just about the guys starting the game. It's the defense. It's that bullpen, and they're gonna try to piece it together for as long as they can.
Give me your thumb. What you got to be now? Like Uribe, I agree with you as far as being a closer. The one thing with Uribe is he doesn't have that massive drop. He doesn't have that lower break on that fastball that gives hitters kind of fits. I mean, it's one thing to hit 100-mile-an-hour fastball on a BB. It's another thing to hit it when it's bouncing all over the place, and he doesn't have that. He's not a big-time strikeout pitcher. But I think Payamps has done a fantastic job. And the experience for Uribe, if indeed you get Devin Williams back and he's healthy, then you're talking about the back end of a bullpen that could be really, really deadly if you just get into 6 innings, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think you can. I think Abner Uribe can be a good strikeout pitcher. I mean, you don't throw 103 miles per hour just to get ground balls. Like that's a guy who should be able to rack those strikeouts up. And he's a work in progress too. This is his first opening day, first full year in the big leagues. So there's going to be a learning curve there. I do think when Devin Williams comes back, assuming he's back at full strength, I mean, I hate that cliche of, it's like a trade acquisition in the middle of the season when your injured guy comes back. It makes the eyes roll into the back of the head. But it's hard to dispute that things are going to get just so much stronger when Devin Williams is back, if it's truly Devin Williams. I mean, just imagine Abner Uribe bumping up to the 8th and Payamps to the 7th, and Elvis Peguero, who's been great, as their 6th inning guy or 5th inning guy. Now suddenly it's like, sure, starters go 4 innings. Doesn't matter. They got all kinds of dudes that they can sling at you and win a lot of close games. But I mean, I think you mentioned this a little while ago. They're going to have to. The offense needs to click. This is a team built around that offense this time around. So they need more games like Sunday where everybody can just relax for a minute because the team scored enough runs where you could throw Thiago Vieira for 3 innings. They're going to need those games. They're not going to be able to win 1-run games that way. So the offense does have to score more runs. Like I said, I think it's been okay. It's just you'd like to see more run scoring here as they get into a groove.
Have you ever seen anything like we saw on Friday night where you saw Munoz he couldn't find the strike zone to save his life? And then, I mean, there were some questionable pitches, don't get me wrong. And I guess Service could have a little bit of an argument there on a couple of them. But for the most part, I've never seen anybody that has been so dominant just lose it. Not really like who was the Cardinal pitcher that started throwing it over the backstop?
Oh, yeah, Rick Ankiel.
Ankiel. Oh, my God. It was like, it wasn't that bad, but it was just like he just lost it. He just couldn't find the strike zone to save his life.
Yeah, I'll give credit to Scott Service, Wisconsin native Scott Service, for coming right back to Munoz the next night, on Saturday night. And Munoz, for people who don't follow American League Baseball, he's exceptional. He's a really good closer. So you have that thrown into the mix. Yeah, it's hard to imagine a guy coming in and walking 4 dudes with the game on the line. I would say that I thought the strike zone was a little smaller, I suppose, as strike zones go, but I thought it was pretty consistent. Like, I don't think there were many pitches that I would say, I could have called that a strike. Right. There were a couple, I guess, that were borderline, but like they didn't get jobbed by the home plate umpire.
Yeah.
It was just one of those situations where the guy they trusted just simply didn't quite have it. I thought my colleague Kurt Helin wrote a great story talking to the 4 guys who walked in that inning and what they were looking for and kind of how they were able to churn that out, the thought process and stuff. I wouldn't find that normally that interesting. 4 guys walked. How much excitement would there be? I thought it was a really good story, though, really interesting. And, sometimes that's 162 games. You're going to get one of those where the opposing pitcher just does not have it. You got to capitalize, and the Brewers did.
What I thought was out of Kurt Hoag's story was the fact that you've got youth, that guys were up there taking pitches and working the count, and they knew it. They were thoughtful enough, veteran enough, whatever you want to call it, to know, hey, the guy's struggling, man. Let's make sure that we're not just swinging at junk just to swing at junk because you're nervous going up there. I mean, these were guys that were up there in young situations that were very veteran in in that particular moment. You know what I mean?
No, I do completely. I think as young as this team is, they do have good pitch selection as hitters. Bryce Terang, Sal Frelick. I do think those guys can thrive in that respect. I think that's the next step for Jackson Churio, who's probably the best of, the most talented of the young players. Only a couple walks for him this year. And, granted, one was with the bases loaded, got him an RBI, and one was, I think, leading off the season. The first batter of that first game, he drew a walk. So, that development will have to come because eventually pitchers are just going to throw, stuff all over the zone and he'll chase it. So he's got to show that he can be patient and select the right pitches to hit. But he has not been overmatched, which is also a nice feature of the early going here to have him come in and not, really, really scuffle like so many rookies do, let alone rookies who are just 20 years old. That is big time promise. And, if he ends up being like the 6th or 7th best hitter in their lineup, which I think if the Brewers had their druthers, that would be their preference. That's kind of how it feels like it's headed. The Brewers are going to be in great shape. I mean, that's a really, really good offense if it works out like I think it could.
Real quick before I let you go, I got to ask you about Oliver Dunn, and we touched on his defensive prowess. Did you see this? I mean, I know he made the team in part because of it, but did you see it being this good down in spring training in Phoenix?
No. I mean, it wasn't even clear which position he would be playing. Would he be the third baseman? Is he a middle infielder? I think. I mean, they liked him for the ability to do kind of a little of everything, I suppose. So that served his cause. He's kind of the guy, a little bit like Terang last year, where there's always going to be that surprise, that guy who makes the roster right out of spring training and has a really central role, not just the 26th guy, but a guy who has a much bigger contribution than you'd expect. That's kind of Oliver Dunn this year, and hit a bomb of a home run in addition to what we've seen with him on defense, and great start for him. Let's see him sustain it. He's a rookie too. This is his first big league action, so we'll see if that's sustained. They're going to make use of that AAA roster a lot this year. That 40-man roster, they're going to be cycling through guys. With an option left, I don't think Oliver Dunn is necessarily guaranteed to be here forever, but for the rest of the season. But he's going to play a big role. It's pretty clear that he's not here just to hang out, soak in some experience, and gradually get better. He's a big time contributor right off the bat. So interesting development.
Great stuff, JR. We appreciate it, and we will talk to you again real soon. Okay.
Sounds good. Talk to you then.
Appreciate it. There you go. J.R. Radcliffe covers the Brewers for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Also does some stuff on the Bucks podcast with Jim Ozarski. They do a little chit-chat over there about both teams, as a matter of fact, and really, really good stuff. But it's kind of saying the same thing. When I was asked earlier, what do you make of this team? What is this team? This team is a team that's 6-2, and they've got some speed. They've got some youth. They've got some enthusiasm. They've got a lot of question marks as far as consistency of arms. And now all you do is you hope that they can continue to hit the baseball, continue to put it all together, get some of the guys back that are healthy, that are kind of the stabilizing factor when it comes to the arms, and see where you're at middle of the season, so you know whether or not you're going to go for it or you're going to stand pat. I mean, that's kind of where it is right now. But it's exciting. It's exciting to watch. It's exciting to see. So I'm happy where the Brewers are at right now. It could be a lot worse. Right? Could be a lot worse. Hey, I know a lot of people over the weekend, whether it was going to some of the concerts or just going to the Brewers game, stopped at Stenny. Second and National and Walker's Point. We're getting close to opening the one out in Pewaukee. right there on Watertown Road, and can't wait for that because we're going to be doing some broadcasts out there as well when that place opens up. But Stenny's second to national, it is like the Cheers of Milwaukee, Milwaukee's best sports bar, and it is just a great eclectic mix, and it is always fun. It's always full of people, award-winning Bloody Marys, great garlic cheese bread, great wings. I can go on, but I don't want to bore you. But it's Stenny's, second to National, Walker's Point. Anywhere in the city, anywhere in that area, you got a big event going on, go down there, get yourself some good food, some good beverages, catch the shuttle, then come back to Stenny's because they say, as you know, you should be here. More of the Bill Michaels Show is next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket, this is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Mike.
Subs, loyalty has its rewards. You love a made-to-order grilled cheesesteak, right? Join the club. You love Wisconsin cheese curds, right? Join the club. You love rewards too, right? Then join the club. The Cousins Club, where you earn points on every purchase, and those points are redeemable on all your favorites. So download the app or sign up online and start earning today. Cousins Subs, we believe in better.
Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes.
Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Good to have you back. The Bill Michaels Show. A couple of segments to go before we get out of here. This portion of the program brought to you by Robert's Specialty Meats in Waukesha. Hey, if you're going to be doing some tailgating, there is nothing better than the handmade sausages they have down there at Robert's Specialty Meats, whether it's the Al Capone, the spicy hot Italians. They have got everything from the jalapeno brats to the regular, normal beer-battered brats. And they've got the ribs on a stick, the chicken parm chicken skewers, great steaks, chops, I mean, you name it. It's just fantastic. And they were also a part of the meat raffle this past weekend out at Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill, helping some charitable work out there. So they do so many great things in the community. That's our friends at Robert's Specialty Meats Waukesha. Go to robertsspecialtymeatswaukesha.com. That's robertsspecialtymeatswaukesha.com on Sunset Drive in Waukesha, Wisconsin. So I got an email here, and this is from Trent. Trent. And he says, Unit, have you ever thought about doing play-by-play of the Eclipse? And I never did. I can do it now for you because it's begun, in case you didn't know. It's getting darker. It's getting darker. Nothing's falling from the sky. Pandemonium has not broken out into the streets. I'm sure people are standing and cheering right now down at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's getting darker. It'll get lighter later. Enjoy your day. There you go. There you go. That's it. I don't know how to do play-by-play of an eclipse, but it is getting darker. I will tell you that. We were talking with Drew Bero earlier, and he said right about the end of the show, so over the next 15 minutes, you're going to notice a significant difference in light. Now, we only get, 90% of the path of totality in the Wisconsin area? Yeah, you know what? I don't have music here that can be considered Eclipse music. I play the closest thing I have to it. It doesn't mean I'm a Bulls fan. I'm just, I don't know what else to play. That's kind of it. So, I'm sorry I started to bring back all these, bad Bulls memories of the 80s and 90s Bulls and Michael Jordan whipping up on the rest of the Eastern Conference and the rest of the league for that matter. Who has Eclipse music, I don't. I've got some Masters music. I guess you could. No, that's baseball tonight. That's NFL special music, right there. I don't know. I don't have anything else in the hopper. I don't have what is it? The Space Odyssey or anything like that. I don't have that stuff. I never thought of using it for the Eclipse. I didn't think in all my days of doing radio, depending on where it is, and I've done play-by-play and everything, Major League Baseball, minor league baseball, and all that. I've never thought anybody would ever ask me to do the play-by-play of an Eclipse. So, Grant, what music would you play? You could play Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. I like that. That's not bad, Marv. That's a good one.
Dark Side of the Moon would be a good one. The song Dark Star by the Grateful Dead
Star, yeah,
would be good. The problem with that is it's normally like a half hour long, and this Eclipse takes all of 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
Here's the other.
that'd be
Somebody said, "What about the Star Wars stuff?" When the Death Star was coming around the sun to suddenly get on the smaller moon that they were going to blow up. I don't know. I've watched the original Star Wars and a couple others since. Not buried in that, so I don't know. I don't know what the music is. I know. I love the theme to Hoosiers. That's it. So, considering everybody's down in Indiana at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, looking up at the sun, going blind at this point in time, maybe we play Hoosiers. So, I don't know. Beyond that, I'm sorry. I'm out. Oh, God. Let's do this. The fun and frivolity at some point has to end, and it's getting darker outside, so please turn on your headlights and please don't run over pedestrians. At least that's something that's been advised in many of these states that are within the path of totality. Take 2 jugs of water. I always recommend have 2 jugs with you anywhere you go. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Suit up for the $800,000 Sports Car Series at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. April through May. Score free play, cash, one of 4 new Toyota GR86s or a new Toyota Supra. Play with your club card to earn entries. 5 times the entries on drawing days and when the Milwaukee Brewers play at home. Got what it takes? Slugger, only at Potawatomi. For more details, visit paysbig.com/sportscar. Must be 21 and a club member to play.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Good to have you back. The Bill Michaels Show. Your home for the most up-to-date information on the path of totality. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Closing out a Monday. It's still a beautiful day. It's still partial sunshine, even though it is getting darker. I will say this, and just an observation, and I don't know if anybody else has noticed this. Now, in my backyard, I had this last year, and I tried to prevent it this year, and I just can't, so I just gave up. But I have like what I would consider to be almost like a bird wildlife preserve. I have got birds' nests again this year all over the place. I've got them in the speakers outside of my house. I've got them in the light fixtures up way at the peak of my house. And I've got birds all over the place, nests everywhere. And so I've got birds flying in and out all the time. And the one byproduct of birds is the bird poop. And that's on my patio furniture, so I got to go out and clean that. However, I digress, because the birds during the day, and I can hear them. That's one of the reasons I can't open the windows here, even though I'd love to. But the birds are very active and very loud, chirping, chirping, chirping. And the pigeon that's upstairs on the very peak of the house, doing that all morning. And it comes through the microphones, and I just can't do it. Okay. The birds have gone eerily silent. And they're not moving around. They're like in the nests. I went downstairs during the break, and they're in the nests. It's like it's nighttime. It's like time to go to sleep or something. It's really weird how that algorithm hits the animals that, in whatever way, but not us. I mean, we got an understanding of what's going on, but it's really weird. Like everything has kind of gone quiet, and the birds aren't chirping and flying all over the place. And that's it. Because I was watching them a little earlier. They're all over the patio furniture. They're on the just outside of my window on the line where the string of lights go. And just outside the studio, just outside the patio door next to the studio, where you can look above and you can usually see the birds flying in and out of the two nests that are up there. And every bird is hunkered down. Every one of them. They're all hunkered down. So that's the only thing that I know. Other than that, there you go. Marcus says, so he has cows, and the cows have now laid down in the field like they're going to sleep. Right? A little weird. Really, just a little weird. In about 30 minutes, they're going to get up and they're going, new day. So that's the play-by-play and the detailed analysis, if you will, of the path of totality. Grant, what do we got coming up tomorrow, man?
Sorry, even radio producers everywhere falling asleep. Tomorrow we'll talk with Chuck Freeman. We'll talk with Jim Razorbacks, who are
Chucker's back on every Tuesday too, by the way. That's great.
Yep. We're back into our routine with him. I just got connected with Gary D'Amato, by the way. He's going to be available to join us on Thursday from Augusta. Which is a little, by the way, he flexed on me a little bit. I said in an email, I said, well, 11:30 works. And he goes, 11:30 will be great. That's 12:30 my time. Parentheses, Augusta. I'm like,
Augusta. Yes.
Get a load of this guy.
Yes.
Down there.
Yes. Can't wait. So we'll talk with
But
Gary.
tomorrow, Jim and Chuck, which would be perfect because I wish we could have had Jim today to talk Bucks. We got Kurt Helin in addition.
No, that was great. Kurt was great. Yeah.
But we need to talk about the Bucks with people that are smart and can put into words what we're feeling and our frustration. So that'll be great tomorrow.
Okay. So that's coming up tomorrow on the program. Matt says, hey, Unit, did you see that you're trending even more than the path of totality on some of the local network stations? First of all, local and network are two different things. I'm only being technical, not to be a jerk, but I did not see that. So that's great that people would rather sit here and listen to us, pontificate about a bunch of crap rather than paying attention to what may be on television when you can, put the glasses on and stick your head out the window and pay attention to yourself. That's like when you get, if you get severe weather, turn to the local stations, 100%. But if it's raining outside, it's raining outside. Stick your head out the damn window, So I know it's getting darker. I know I'm just outside of the path of totality. We're good. I'm going to survive it. I think what I'm going to do when I get off the air, I might walk outside. I won't look up, but I'll just look around to realize where I'm at and the time that it is and the day that it is. And that I'm surviving. I want to get a t-shirt that says I survived the path of totality Eclipse in 2024 and then go from there. So other than, you know what else I'll do? I'll look for all the pictures over on Facebook and Instagram. That's for all the people that take really cool pictures. They're all going to post them, and rightfully so. They're all going to post them, and then go back and enjoy your day. The rest of your day is going to be great. As a matter of fact, this afternoon, I'm going to go watch some high school baseball. I'm going to get out of here probably in about another half hour, 45 minutes, and go watch some high school baseball this afternoon. So that's what I've got on the agenda. Other than that, that's it. It's been one hell of a day. Brewers get some nice wins over the weekend. 5:40 first pitch. Tonight you've got the NCAA Championship game. You got UConn and Purdue. At this point, if you're rooting against Purdue, I get it, but they've made it to the finals, and you can't call them Purdue anymore. It's been a hell of a year for them and Zach Edey, and we'll just see how it's officiated. So we'll talk a little bit about that tomorrow, and we'll talk with our buddy Chucker and talk some more Brewers baseball, like Grant said, and kind of go from there. Whatever else happens to pop up, will pop up. Whatever will be, will be. So that's it. That'll do it. Good stuff today. Really good stuff today. Thanks to everybody for paying attention. Everybody over in the live stream, man. Woo! Great job. We're hitting some big numbers today. That was fantastic. I don't know what's happened. Suddenly, maybe we got either likability or maybe somebody mixed our channel up with porn or something. I don't know. But seeing some nice spikes in the numbers today. Good stuff. Good stuff, people. All right, there you go. Hopefully you survive the path of totality. Don't get crazy. Don't look directly into the sun. Please don't take pictures while you're driving, for God's sakes. And then 20 hours from now, we'll be back at it again, and then hope to talk to you then again as well.